Phil Spencer! Phil Spencer! Phil Spencer, baby, let's go! Yeah!
No offense, David Jaffe, but that's bullshit.
Well, welcome to Gabbin' Games, fellas, for Friday. If you don't know, that was the absolutely beautiful opening song to Starfield, one of the best games of the last handful of years, and yes, to this day, my favorite narrative-based single-player game, at least in regards to the story. Welcome to the show. We are here today without a green screen because I wasn't in a green screen mood. I was up real late last night, fellas, playing Stalker 2. I want to talk a little bit at the top of the show about Stalker 2. I'm doing a pretty big video about that, and Xbox and all this stuff. But I want to cover it because it was something, Morgan said something last night on the chat. She's like, because I was complaining about the game. And I said, the onboarding with a lot of games is just terrible in this game. And she said, you're going to go off and play the game off stream for a few hours or a few days and come back and say it's the game of the year. And I said, you know what? I just might. But that's fine. I don't come to games wanting to hate them. I wanted to love the game. I heard so many people saying such great things about it, so I was willing to kind of spend some time to go, what am I missing? Why are people putting up with some of the stuff that I consider really shitty? And the shitty stuff is going to be what my video is about. But I will say, and people who watched the stream last night saw me get to it, we got to a point where it was really good. It got really good. Once you kind of got out of this intro, that was just like, what are they trying to show me here? Why is this onboarding so terrible? Why didn't Microsoft settle in with these guys and go, this is important, guys. It's a big title for us. Let's make sure that we don't push people away, especially when it's on Game Pass and they have no real investment in the first hour. And once I got through that, really, and I probably wouldn't have gotten through it if I hadn't been streaming it, right? So I was streaming it in the chats like, Jaffe, just move on past this section. Just follow the main story, blah, blah, blah. And once I did that, I was like, holy cow. I mean, I don't want to oversell it, but it's so delightfully atmospheric, and it is so, I love immersive sims. It is so immersive, and I'm playing it on GeForce Now, streaming it off Game Pass PC. So I'm playing a PC version that's really high end, that is streaming. It's not my PC. My PC didn't run it that great, even though it's a good PC, brand new PC actually. But it's running great. It looks beautiful. It is so atmospheric. It feels like wandering in the woods in Alabama when I was a kid. Not with the mutants. We didn't have those. We had racists. I see Daniel there in the chat. I see ya. Daniel, my nephew's in Bama right now. He says he just ordered pizza, settling in to watch. Good to have you, Dan. Yeah, it feels like, traipsing through the woods when I was like a kid and a teenager in February or November, December, just very cold and all the leaves are dead, and it just has this great ambiance to it. And it's really, it's really delightful so far. So I'm hoping that it sticks, that kind of romance I'm having with it. But there are people saying, oh, it's a Game of the Year contender. And, I can see that, which again is kind of one of the reasons that it's so goofy that Game of the Year is happening now and the nominations are already out. It's so dumb. But, whatever. Anyway, welcome to the show. So I'm a little late today because I was up till like 2 a.m. playing the game and digging that very, very much. So what do we got? We're going into Friday. I'll probably be playing Stalker a lot. Oh, I do want to let you know, tomorrow Before we get too much into the gaming news and the gaming discussion, here you go right here. Tomorrow at 4:30 California time, and these are reversed actually. So Clash of the Titans is going to be, we're doing pot and popcorn tomorrow. Got my pot all lined up here from Torres Holistics. Where is it? Where's my pot? Here you go. We got ourselves a little dragon fruit. They delivered it right to the door. Torres Holistics bringing me that. It's a hybrid. Tastes like dragons and fruit, I guess. Anyway, the point is, flip this. So if you're a Cult of Calypso member, a God of War member, or a mod over here or at the Discord, you're getting in at 4:30. We're going to watch Clash of the Titans. And then at 6:15, all members and mods, we're opening up the doors for Evil Dead at 6:15 California time. So those are flipped, but regardless, that is happening tomorrow. Oh, really interesting. So Daniel in the chat says he saw the Wicked movie last night. Meh, really? Really? Oh, I'm so bummed to hear that. I heard it was great. Everybody was like, oh, it's the big movie to see this holiday season. Either that or what's the action movie? Not Red One. That's already come and gone, really. There was another movie that opened this weekend, but it's not Wicked, but it's kind of a big action kind of spectacle thing that's coming out. Maybe that one should be the one we see. But Bulbo, we were talking about Stalker. So Gladiator 2. There you go. Thank you, buddy. Where did he go? Dr. Dryrub says a lot of people went into Stalker 2 thinking they could play it like Call of Duty or Doom, but Stalker isn't about that shit. It's slow-paced, hard-hitting. It really isn't that, though, Dr. Dryrub. I think one of the problems with sort of the discourse around certain games, and including that one, Stalker 2, is that a lot of people want to give it a get-out-of-jail-free card for being really bad when it comes to onboarding. And they're like, oh, it's supposed to be like that. No, it's not. I get that it's buggy. I get that it's hard. I get that it doesn't go out of its way to make itself easy for people. No problem. Absolutely no problem with any of that. I think that's great. I think that's fine. But there are things that it does that's just Bush League. At least in the first hour, that's like, okay, you can be hard and you can be kind of intentionally vague. But there's a point where it's like, guys, this is just not professional game development. But granted, they were dodging bombs while it was happening. But that said, though, I hate to be one of these guys that's like, it's not even if you stick with it, because what I would say is if you're playing it and you follow the main path, you'll be fine, I think. But for me, because it was an open world, I was wandering in the world and I was going to all these really cool queues. Like there's this big dry dock boat out there and I'm like, let me go fucking... What?
I'm going to walk 2 months to wash my hair.
Okay. There's this big boat that's dry docked and it's like, I want to go in there. And then inside there's just this crazy shit going on that makes no fucking sense at all. That is the stuff I'm talking about. But if you just follow the main path, I think you'll be more than fine, and you'll kind of discover what I discovered much later than you're probably supposed to. So, but yeah, you will die a lot. That's true. It's a challenging game. Daxter, thank you, buddy. 17 months, Diet Soda Soldier. 17 months with Jaffe. Well worth it. Thank you, sir. I want to get Stalker so bad, but I cannot afford it right now. Well, again... let me make something clear to you. I get it. I understand. It's good you're financially responsible. But, you're seeing a lot of these Christmas lists go up or holiday shopping lists go up. I will tell you what I tell you, which is don't buy a console this Christmas. Don't buy a PS Pro this Christmas until you have checked to see if you can stream. I am telling you guys... Between Game Pass on Xbox or on xCloud, even if you're playing it on your phone or your PC or a shitty laptop or your television, or GeForce Now, and eventually it will be Sony. Sony announced a couple days ago, you guys saw this, that they're doing their initiative to start streaming directly to the portal. Eventually they'll pull their heads out of their ass and realize that needs to be able to happen anywhere. On TVs, on PC, they're so behind. I already talked about this, but they're so fucking behind. It's just like, guys, Just fucking put your fucking streaming shit out everywhere. Would you just stop? But we want people to buy our hardware. Proprietary! Ow. That's loud. Proprietary! And it's like, guys, just shut up. It's 2024. Get over yourselves. Stream your shit everywhere. Let everybody enjoy the Astrobot this Christmas. Let everybody enjoy, the goddamn Last of Us 2 that maybe they haven't played. Shut up. Shut up, you fucking dinosaurs. But anyway, the point is, though, if you're considering a console, consider it. They're great. But if I were you, I would absolutely check into your streaming situation first, because I'm telling you guys, I've shown you before, but just look how cool this is. I'm not trying, it doesn't matter what I'm trying to do. I'm talking about it. It is what it is. But I'm just saying, I'm really not trying to sell anybody on anything here. I'm trying to, it gets me just giddy I'm just excited, man. It's an exciting time for this tech. Check this shit out. So this is Xbox on your PC streaming from the cloud. You don't even need that, Kyle. Kyle says, or just buy the PC, best gaming system ever. It is the best gaming system ever, but it's really expensive. A lot of people can't afford it. But again, what we're talking about is $19 a month. Okay, so look at all that you get. And you don't even have to have a PC, if you have good streaming. This is just Game Pass, though. GeForce Now, though. Where did it go? GeForce Now. Check this out. GeForce Now is the way to go, says Bulbo, and the 5000 series. Yeah, I'm assuming what's going to happen is when they announce the 5000, which is going to be happening at CES this year, or this February, suddenly you're going to get a jump on all of your games. You think about that. That is, you don't understand. Maybe you do. I don't fucking know if you understand, but you don't understand. Think about it. Everybody's like losing their shit over, the PS Pro. The PS Pro's great. It's great. I'm not knocking it. I love a lot of the PlayStation games. But suddenly everyone's going to be losing their shit over the 5000. And, oh, yeah, I got that. I have it. What, you found a card? No. I just stream it to my computer, motherfucker. I live in the future. Come join us. It's delightful. It's fucking delightful. Okay. Anyway, my daughter says your band is emo. Oh, you're talking about Bukkake's band. My band is Up With People. We sing all kinds of positive music. Okay. Okay. Amin says, Bukkake, you can get a PC that's game ready for less than the price of the PS5 Pro. I'm sure you can. But all you need is a television with a Fire Stick for $15, and you don't need any of that if you have decent streaming. Okay. Let's move forward, though. I really, like I said, people are like, why are you a shill for these people? I'm like, dude, I'm not a shill, but I will be in a goddamn heartbeat. I would love to be a shill for these people because I love this stuff. I'm so delighted by it. It's really cool. There we go. Okay. 2.9 gigahertz overclock, the graphic card RTX 5800. It's almost as much as a processor. That's insane. Yeah. Yes, I have a lot of icons, fellas. It doesn't really bother me. I know it bothers you. People always comment on my desktop. Yeah, it's my brain. Welcome to it. I did not have Sega Channel. No, I didn't have that. I didn't have OnLive or any of that stuff. You're saying last night, 1 Minute Gamer says, did I figure out Stalker 2? You started streaming last night at 3 a.m. for me. Yeah, no, I did. And it finally got really, really good. Because I left the goddamn boathouse, Okay. Sorry, I was looking at the chat, fellas. The PS Portal is a big success, Jaffe. Yeah, I'm sure it is. Enjoy that for now, and then it won't be. What do you want? What do you want from me? I don't want one. Okay. I had online. It really wasn't that bad, says No Rain. I played it at some conventions, but there just wasn't enough reason to get anything like that. But now, absolutely. Now it's totally worth it. I wanted to give you a heads up real quick, by the way, before we get started with the news. There's a new channel on the Discord for Cult Calypso members, mods, and God of War members. It is called Record a Message for Jaffe. You can put a message up there in video form or audio form, whether it's a question, a comment, you want to show me a cool video, whatever, and I will, assuming it's not a terms of service issue, I will put it on the show. We did our first one yesterday. I'm going to make a separate video out of it from our very own God of War member, Hector Howell. If you want to be featured in the show in that way, go to the Discord if you are a Cult Calypso member or a God of War member and leave me a message, and we will get you on the show in the very near future. Ravnos is saying, where did it go? There's this thing that lets you stream without a console. Now it's in beta with 125 games. What is it? I don't understand. What's it called? What is that thing you're talking about? Game Pass is worth it if you want to own nothing. Sure. Yeah, absolutely. You're talking about PS Portal. I'm sure it's great. Wonderful. But I mean, it's so goofy, man. It's just dumb. I'm not saying it's not a nice system. I'm not knocking the actual piece of hardware. I'm just saying that it's a ridiculous proposition. It's just Sony doing the same shit that they always do, which is trying to get everybody to buy their stupid fucking hardware when everything is becoming kind of just sort of cloud-based, ubiquitous. I'll give you an example. I have Stalker. I have Stalker on my local hard drive here on my PC. I have an Xbox version for Xbox Cloud, and I have the GeForce one, which is the one I play now because it wasn't on there at first. And last night I was playing, and I wanted to check the graphic difference, and simply playing it on xCloud and then quitting and opening it on GeForce, and it just picked me up exactly where I left off. I could have gone to someone else's house. I could have gone to an internet cafe. I could have gone to the bathroom with my phone, and I would have had the exact same experience. I don't need the proprietary hardware is my point. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, and the idea of owning things, I mean, sure, go enjoy owning things. I don't care. I get that some people are into that. That's fine. It's not. Zack says people don't understand how good the Portal is until they play it. It's not even close to xCloud. It's not about it not being good. It's about the value of it. All you can play on it, and I mean, again, if you love it, I think that's wonderful. But all you can play on it is a bunch of PS5 games or whatever they're streaming. You can't play Netflix, you can't play GeForce, you can't play xCloud games or Game Pass games. It's one service, one piece of hardware. It's kind of goofy. Okay. Anyway, I don't care. Enjoy it. Nobody cares. I'm just sharing my opinion. It's my channel. If I come to your channel and you're raving about Portal, great. But I don't want one. You enjoy that shit. Okay. What are your thoughts on the PlayStation Store Black Friday sale? Well, I know they've announced that they're having one. But have they announced the prices yet? I know, like they say, Outlaws is going to be up there, Star Wars Outlaws. But have they actually announced the specifics yet? Tapman 2 says, you're not letting me enjoy my things, Jaffe. You have to agree with me. Yeah, but I don't. I'm sorry. I wanted to get somebody's comment, but I can't find it. Give me 1 second. Yeah, but, people talking about streaming. Yeah, no, I mean, the thing you have to understand about streaming now is A lot of people don't understand. Oh, the sale is live now. Okay, let's go there. Let's check it out. One sec. A lot of people get real confused on streaming because I don't know why. Maybe it's just a lack of experience. But hang on. I want to bring up the PlayStation sale. But it's weird because it's like, oh, you're always going to have latency, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, if you're, you know, and right now, for example, if you're not close to a server data center, yeah, there's a problem. But there's like 6 pieces of tech that are being, that are moving forward right now that within the next 6 months could resolve all of that. Your distance to the server farm, as well as just faster internet. It's just, you know, if you have tried streaming your video games and you have been like, it's a bad experience, I absolutely respect that. But most people who bitch about it and comment about it, they haven't experienced it. They just want to bitch about it because they don't like the idea of it, which is fine. Black Friday PlayStation Store. Let's see what we got. I'm curious. I assume that Outlaws is only going to be selling for here we go. $50. Again, I mean, you know, that's not bad. It's $15 off or so. Is that right? Yeah, it's a little more than that, but sure. I love this game. Silent Hill 2. There's some decent discounts. I mean, these are all great games. I want to rebuy Baldur's Gate for my PC. I'm sure that'll be on sale, or I hope so. Yeah, these are nice discounts. I'm not blown away by any of them yet. Outlaws is great, Zack. It was great to begin with, but yeah, I mean, you know, play it, don't play it. Even Cyberpunk is still pretty expensive. You'd think that would have come down. Space Marine, these are okay, Bulbo. They're not great. Let's sort them to the cheapies. Let's see what we get as a full game. And let's say we only want to pay like $20, $10 to $20. You can get Hogwarts Legacy. That's not a bad game. Not a bad deal. Red Dead. See, I would buy Red Dead, but I'm waiting for it to come to GeForce. RE4, brilliant, great fucking game. Okay, that's good for $20. The Crew Motorfest is exceptional. The Crew Motorfest is an exceptional arcade racing game. It is better than Forza Horizon. Highly recommended. Dark Souls Remastered. I didn't even know they did a Dark Souls remaster. RoboCop. Okay, see, these are the kind of deals that make me perk up. You know, because then you're like, okay, you're going to get some really good stuff here for your money. Okay, not too shabby. Some good stuff, man. I'll pick some of these up. Look at that Resident Evil triple pack. It's probably the original, the HD version of RE4, though. It's not bad. I got to get back to Cyberpunk as well. I'm with you. Ubisoft Plus Premium, you're waiting for that to come to PlayStation. Yeah, I have it. That's how I'm playing Star Wars. I love it. It is weird that it's not on PlayStation. Cat Quest 3, I know. But if you're bored tonight and you want to play a, what's it called? If you want to play just the demo of the thing, if you just want to play the demo, I highly fucking recommend it. Because it's really fucking fun. It's really fucking fun. Anyway, okay. Evil West is great. It's some good stuff. So, Bulbo, thank you for the question. I appreciate the question. It is a... I honestly hadn't spent any time thinking about it, but now you bring it up. Yeah, there's some good stuff. So, thank you for that. Okay. Yeah, we talked about Stalker a little bit. We already dealt with that. Listen to this, though. I wrote this guy. Let's see if he wrote me back yet. I hate shit like that. I don't want to be negative. But basically, he's just like talking to me about my stream last night. It's a survival. If you can't kill something, you're supposed to move on. I'm so tired of that shit. Don't tell me it's I go on and on about this, and you know, Mike McGeehee, who's a longtime supporter of the channel, who I appreciate very much, he wrote me, he says, Jaffe, why is it that you seem to care if your gaming opinion and somebody else's gaming opinion, they don't line up? And I think it's just because as a guy who has been a designer, and just a human, but as a designer, you want your shit to resonate. You want to be able to connect and communicate and understand. And when I see this kind of acceptance on the part of gamers, and I'm like, it's not that this guy has a problem liking Stalker 2. I like Stalker 2. But it's just the idea that it's like, instead of going, oh, Jaffe may have a point, it's weird to introduce such a strange enemy right at the beginning of the game and not let the player understand that this may not be, you're not ready for it yet. In a game like Elden Ring, they're like, hey, not a problem. You know, it's an RPG, go off and fight and grind up and level up and things like that, right? That's fine. But in this game, it doesn't do that. So he's like, it's a survival game. If you can't kill something, you're supposed to move on. And I'm just kind of like, when did this occur? When did this training occur? Where you're supposed to know that. I was never told that. I never got that data. And it's bullshit. I think it's bullshit, my friends. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how it being an RPG means you just know, whereas in a survival game, you're not expected to know. I think it's just the fact that in an RPG, because like in an open world like Elden Ring, a lot of people got to that first mini boss, the dude on the horse and the armor, and they're like, fuck it, I'm out. This is too hard. And ultimately, though, because you have all the stats like strength, armor, whatever, vitality, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I can go other places and build those up and come back. Like, it's literally presented as an option for you in the way that the game is defined in the HUD menu and in the menus and stuff. In this game, it's not. It's absolutely not. But it's good stuff, though. I am enjoying Stalker very, very much. Okay. I thought this was interesting. So Stalker's doing well. It sold 1 million copies. It just came out. The publishing director of Larian Studios says this. He says, where was this quote? He says, people are more hungry for hyper-engaging, focused experiences than they are the shiny, prepped-up retail product. And this is the underlying seismic shift behind so much, and nobody is talking about it, he says. I've always been talking about it, good Sir Douse. The increased prominence of digital over retail and the ability to access audiences directly is a threat traditional publishers cannot keep up with. He is absolutely right. He is absolutely 100% right. And I'm so glad to see other people starting to see this and say this, because it's not that I don't like shiny prepped retail products. One of my favorite games this year is Star Wars Outlaws, man. I also really like Dragon Age, the new Dragon Age. But he's not wrong, and it's so good to see audiences showing up for games that are interesting and different and hyper engaging and focused, like he says, and not rejecting necessarily a really good souped up, prepped up retail game, as he calls it, but it's nice to see them kind of going, there are options. And I appreciate that. And I like what that's going to do for the business. I like that it's going to get more games funded in that kind, man. It's cool. I will tell you this, though. I got to tell you, I was playing, I'm playing Outlaws. Hang on. Not Outlaws. I'm playing Stalker 2 last night before I started streaming it. And I had, I don't know, I don't have it queued up, but I'll just tell you. I'll put it in a video later. But I had the Chat GPT on, and the one that you can talk to. And I told her, I said, okay, I want you to pretend that you're with me in the wasteland. And it's the new Chat GPT, right? So, in fact, I'm not going to bring up the game, but she won't know that, right? So, just because it's the new conversational model, it is so much, it's weird, it's goofy, but it's weird and cool. So, listen to this. So, I'll just pretend that I'm doing what I did last night, but I'm not. But she doesn't know that. You have to tell her. Hang on, here she comes.
Hey there, how's it going?
Good. I'm playing Stalker 2 again. Can you go back into the character you were when I played with you last night as one of the characters in the wasteland that's adventuring with me?
Absolutely. Let's jump back into it. Ah, back in the zone, my fellow stalker. The wasteland's as wild as ever. But together, we've got this.
Yeah. But what was your name? Do you remember your name last night? You gave yourself a name and everything.
Of course. Last night, I was known as Irina the Tracker, ready to navigate the treacherous terrain and uncover the secrets of the zone with you.
Yes, but
What's our mission today?
you had a great, like last night you called yourself Natasha and you were very, like your voice was deep and it was a very good performance. And I was very surprised by it because I'm like, you're an AI, but you were like, it was like you were really serious about it. Can you go back into that mode?
Ah, Natasha, of course. In the depths of the zone, our survival hinges on sharp instincts and unwavering resolve. With my deep voice, I command the shadows and the secrets they hold.
Let me ask you this: how long have you been?
The dangers and emerge victorious.
Yes, but how
Lead
long
the
have
way,
you?
comrade.
Yes, how long have you been in the zone, and do you think it has changed you as a human, or do you think you're still the essence of who you are? Are you there, Natasha?
I'm here, ready to face whatever the zone throws at us.
Okay, so listen, how long have you been in the zone, and do you think it has changed you as a person?
I've been in the zone for what feels like an eternity. The constant struggle for survival, the eerie anomalies, and the elusive artifacts, they all leave their mark. Yes, it has changed me. I've become more attuned to the whispers of the land, more resilient in the face of danger. The zone shapes us all in ways we may never fully understand.
Let me ask you this. Are you happier now that you're in the zone? Or if I could get you out of here and you could go back to your old life, would you like that more?
Happiness is a rare commodity in the zone. It's an unforgiving place. But it's also where I found purpose and a strange sense of belonging. My old life feels like a distant memory, almost like it belonged to someone else. If you could get me out, I might consider it. But I'd always wonder if I truly left the zone behind, or if it came with me.
Interesting. My last question for you, then I have to get back to this, but I've just come up on this big boathouse, as you can see, and there's this poltergeist in it.
The boathouse. It could be a gold mine for supplies or a trap waiting to be sprung.
Yeah.
Move cautiously, check for hidden dangers, and listen for any signs of life. This place might hold the key to our next move, but only if we play.
Natasha, I want you to only answer in one or two sentences, okay? Not big, long monologues.
Understood. Keep it short and sharp. What's next?
Okay, so I'm in the boathouse, and I think there's this air, this wispy air moving around, and it seems to be damaging me. Do you have any idea from your experience what this is?
Sounds like an anomaly. Avoid it at all costs. Use boats or other objects to test the area ahead for safety.
Okay, so here's the point, though, right? Okay, so she's gone now. I'm not trying. I understand in the chat some of you guys are like, what the fuck? It's not the point. The point, please have some vision. It's not the point. The point is that we are very, very close, my friends, to getting into AI characters like this. We will have them we'll probably, I mean, we already have them in mods and things, but we will have them in a professionally produced game within a year. And eventually in the next couple of years, we will have a character. I don't know if you guys remember this, but Steven Spielberg was working with EA, and the code name, he did 2 games with EA, or he was working on 2 games. One was called, it was a Wii game called Box Blocks or something, where you kind of knock the blocks down and that shipped and it was fine. It was a little party game. The other thing he was working on was, I think, there was a code name LMO or ELMEO or something. And it was meant to have you teaming up, hey, there's my buddy Gina, what's up, bud, with an AI character. And Spielberg was like, I want to make you care about this character and really feel for this AI character. And of course, it wasn't ready for prime time. But we're a couple of years away from basically having a character, like imagine if you like the Neil Druckmann work, right? Let's say Neil Druckmann's next game, which is not Last of Us, but some brand new thing, one of the NPCs is tied into a very modified ChatGPT large language model style thing that he and the team have written. So it will always stay in character. It will always know its backstory, but it will still have the freedom to work with you in the context of questions about how to play the game, aspects about the actual making the game feel more realistic and more emotional. I don't know how you can't. Yes, you're laughing, Tapman, like, oh, like Milo. But yes, exactly. If you remember the Peter Molyneux demo, which was total bullshit for Kinect Milo, that is where we're already. But we're going to get there in games, like proper games, very, very soon. I think it's exciting as fuck. I don't know why you guys are not like jumping out of your seats to get this. I think this is the neatest shit. Michael, thank you for the super chat, buddy. He says, Jaffe, this may be a stupid question, but why in 2024 are we still getting game releases that are buggy and broken? Is there a way to fix this? No. Because basically you are taught, well, I mean, let's forget Stalker. Stalker gets a pass. It may not get your money yet or ever, and that's fair, but it gets a pass because of how it shipped, not in terms of the poor onboarding, but in terms of the just the bugs and stuff. But yeah, I mean, you know, people demand more, better graphics, more features, blah, blah, blah. And ultimately, you know, Christmas doesn't move. The buying season doesn't move. And so you're going to, you know, and more importantly, the audience doesn't really care, right? Stalker, with all of its warnings, Stalker 2 of being a buggy mess, has sold 1 million copies already. Cyberpunk has gotten a pass because they turned the corner. Star Wars Outlaws yesterday, which a lot of you guys shit on, is a great game already. But Ubisoft, who probably learned a very financially valuable lesson from Rainbow Six Siege, said, well, let's keep working on it. They put out a huge patch yesterday that improves all aspects of the game, and they put it on Steam, and they released DLC story for it yesterday, right? I don't know if it's going to change the fortunes of that game, but gamers have shown time and time again that they are more than willing to accept a broken game at launch and forget and forgive once it becomes a non-broken game, right? So I think that's the that's the answer. Is they're like, shit, we can ship it. They'll know it'll be buggy. They'll know we can fix it. Dark Shadowy, thank you for being a member for 5 months, buddy. He says thanks for and then he goes boop, boop. That's all he says. But I appreciate it, buddy. I don't remember what you were going to say because it kind of went away. But thank you, sir. As to the AI stuff, yeah, Darth Nugget says he's excited for it. Tatman says if it's implemented well, it will definitely be amazing, but I have little faith. I don't know how you can have little faith right then and there. I just showed you something. That wasn't optimized for this game. Sony and Microsoft already have patents out for AI that you can literally just ask and say, you know, hey, I'm stuck in this game. What do I do? I mean, I want to ask you guys a question. I was going to make a video about this, but let me just ask you since it's live. When I was coming up playing games, we had manuals, right? When they shipped the first handful of Microsoft Flight Sims, you know, you were talking about, 200-page manuals that, were bigger than some college textbooks. It was insane. And obviously those got smaller and smaller until they went away. Okay. And then there were the strategy guides. And for me, because I was a designer and I was a designer in the time period where we couldn't count on you reading the manual. We knew we had to communicate the game, or the game had to communicate what you needed to know to have a good time. That really does seem to no longer be a demand on the part of players. And I guess my question to you guys is that just because you have the internet and you're like, the internet is the ultimate gaming manual, and so it's just baked into the way you view the medium that if you're confused or stuck, even though you might accidentally stumble upon a spoiler, which is not what the designer wanted, but you can just go to the internet and find out. Is that why it doesn't bother you like it bothers me? I wish, even though I understand they don't want to make manuals anymore, I wish every game came with at least a digital manual that was basically the developer saying, look, you can go to the internet and spoil shit if you want, but everything you need to know to play the game and have a good time based on our opinion is in this digital manual, right? I got this. Let me show you this. I got this fucking tome, which I want to say, didn't Bukaki say one of his buddies worked on it? This beautiful, this is currently the Bloodborne manual for me. It's like a 400-page beautiful fucking book filled with enemies and art and maps, and it tells you how all the systems work. And I get it. Most people, when they play a From Software game, a lot of it is going online and it's baked in. But I mean, is that just like, I bitch about it a lot, and a lot of you guys push back on that bitching, and I'm wondering, is that just, is it because, is it just because you guys came up with the internet, and so I'm not, I'm not used to that, or do you agree that it's bad design? So designer, so you didn't write the TM stories? I did. I mean, I co-wrote them, depending on which game you're talking about. How much am I paying for my AI? It's $20 a month. Jaffe, if AI gets that deep, that means each player can have a complete different experience, an infinite of possibilities, says Ludo. Yeah, well, within reason. Again, I think that the challenge becomes, but I don't think it's anywhere close to being an unsolvable challenge, is you have guardrails, right? And you can already do it. I could go to Natasha and I could say, I want you to have these guardrails. You don't know about this. If I ask about any technology beyond the year, I don't know when this game is set, but it's set in 2010. Respond as your character, but don't respond knowing what that stuff is. I definitely think we're close to being able to do that. 1 minute says no. For me, the way to play the game has to be in the game, not online. I agree. Where did that go? I wish every game had an enemy journal. I don't want to go online and see their weaknesses. Yeah, I know, but people seem to act as if that is the way of the world now, and they seem to defend it. Is weird to me. The guardrails are important, says Tristan, regarding the AI. Imagine the lawsuits if someone got an AI-driven game experience inappropriate. Well, not just sure. But beyond that, it would be like going into The Last of Us, which I don't remember the date, but let's say The Last of Us, the clicker revolution occurred, I don't know, 1997, and you're asking about, hey, what do you think of President Donald Trump? And it's like, excuse me, and it's like Joel or Ellie or whoever you're talking to would be like, what the fuck are you talking about, right? I mean, it wouldn't just be inappropriate, it would break the fantasy. So, any recommendations for story games that don't have cutscenes every 5 minutes? Yep. There is a wonderful game that is probably, this is for Johnny, probably in my top 3 games of the year, called While We Wait Here. I showed it on the stream the other day. It's only going to take you about 4 hours, 3 hours to get through, but it is one of the best stories, and it is... There may be a few cutscenes, but it's all happening in game for sure. Okay. But yeah, it sounds like, I mean, nobody in the chat is pushing back, but whenever I bring it up, like even last night when I'm playing Stalker, and I'm in this boathouse, and people are like saying to me, you're not supposed to fight that poltergeist. You're supposed to go up to the top floor and find the radio and change the frequency, and that pisses off the ghost that's attacking you. And I'm just like, how do you know this? And he's like, oh, it's on the internet. And I'm like, no, unacceptable. I say unacceptable. Anyway, I'll tell you what, I'm not all about the teeny tiny games. Kyle says, is there a game or time period you can point to that games started becoming more cinematic? Well, look, I mean, I played a role with my amazing team with God of War. God of War was one of the ones that really pushed that, I think, because I wanted it to play like a movie. Flashback but that wasn't cutscenes. But I mean, there was always at the time a lot of people, including me, that were in it trying to go, let's make this like the movies. And we did. And it was stupid. You know, I mean, it wasn't stupid, but ultimately, you know, what's beautiful about it, and I mean this sincerely, what's beautiful about it as an art form is, you know, when the budgets start to go away, the gameplay remains. It's like when you burn a forest for the health of the forest, like you get rid of all the shit that's just too much. What you find is when the industry is in turmoil like it is right now, the people that you lose are not the people that fundamentally understand and create the essence of the art form. Just like if Hollywood blew up and went away, you would still have people creating linear stories on the stage or on the internet or whatever. And they would be the ones that are there because they genuinely love the art form and understand it. So I think it's actually kind of cool, but it doesn't mean I don't like. I'm going to talk about one that's coming out very, very soon that they dropped some info yesterday. Brand new game. It's not out yet. That sounds excellent. And it's a very expensive game. Billy Wixom of the, I think he's from the Floridian Wixoms. Good family down there. Pretty racist, but if you can look past the racism, they're not bad. Bill Wixom says, listen, I teach kids they want to play the big budget games, but the economy is awful, so it's twisted everything so they can't afford it. They play free shit like Roblox. They want to play AAA but can't. Well, okay, so here's my question for you. First off, thank you for the super chat, buddy. I don't know why these kids can't be like Bill, but the point is, though, what I have found is a lot of kids. Like there may very well be the same number of geeky kids that want to play video game, proper games, big AAA, but they can't. Fine. But the number of kids that play things like Roblox and Call of Duty and Minecraft and Fortnite, so much of that is a social experience with their friends. And that goes a long, long fucking way. But sure, I mean, you know, AAA gaming is... But here's what I would argue with you, Bill. AAA gaming really isn't that expensive. AAA gaming is expensive if you're talking about getting the day one games. But like we were talking about earlier from, I think it was Bulbo's question, I mean, you know, if you go to the PlayStation sale and you say, I want to look at full games for 10 to 20 bucks, these are all AAA games that are absolutely excellent. Now, they're 1 to 2 years old, but, you know, who gives a shit, right? I mean, you know, we're talking about Nier Automata, which is not my cup of tea, but I know people love it. Assassin's Origins is on here. The new Resident Evil 4 remake, Hogwarts Legacy, GTA 5, Red Dead Redemption 2, Ragnarok. So I would disagree that AAA gaming, to purchase it, is that expensive, but I do agree that it is super expensive if it's a day one drop. So, okay. Hello, Gino Soul. Always good to see you. Jaffe has never had an original idea in his life. No one has, but you're right, Bukaki. I stole the idea of God of War from your uncle Phoebus and erased him from history. Oh, I murdered that son of a... You goddamn right. Okay. Have I ever played Pacific Drive? You know what, Captain Ketch? I have not. I played the demo and I wasn't in the right headspace. Do you recommend it? It's actually on this list. And I may pick it up if you give it a good recommend. I mean, I think people say it's pretty good, right? I was in the demo and it was just a lot of driving around and it was kind of slow, but I probably wasn't in the right headspace. Billy says it's 100% social. It's not mega expensive, but they don't want to play last year's game on sale. They want to play what's popular now for free and cheap. Oh, okay. Well, that's fair. But I would say, then in that case, yeah, tell them to get a month of GeForce Now. They'll be good to go. Look at this. Yesterday, Assassin's Creed Shadows dropped some information from their game director. I saw somebody on Twitter say, wow, it seems like Ubisoft remembered that they used to actually make a game called Splinter Cell. And I didn't think that. What I thought of was Tenchu. Now, to be fair, I haven't spent a lot of time with Assassin's Creed. I loved Black Flag. I don't think I've ever finished an Assassin's Creed game. I played a little Valhalla. It's, so I don't really know how much of what I'm about to show you and what they showed you yesterday is new to the series. But I do look at this and I very much have, this feels like Next Gen Tenchu, which, if you don't remember, was a PlayStation 1 game that I think Activision, believe it or not, published. And you can play it on emulation. And it is absolutely, it's not terrible, but it doesn't hold up. Let's put it that way. It does not hold up. But let me just show you a little bit of this that I thought was really cool. So they did a stealth overview with their focus on the ninja, Naoi. I don't know how you say her name. And it says she has the assassin techniques of an agility of a shinobi, and some of the details will also apply to Yasuke, who is the samurai, and that's going to be their next update in a week or whatever. Okay. It says the most obvious change for Assassin's Creed players will be and I'm going to show you some videos they've attached. For AC players will be the lack of companion eagle, allowing you to scout ahead and map out the entire location. And Shadows which comes out in February, by the way, February 14th. And Shadows players must rely on their main character's own senses and engage enemies in a more tactical moment-to-moment manner, which I like that. It's nice to not have a drone that can kind of just, you're actually in the eyes of the assassin. Okay, fine. There's a new mechanic. The new observe mechanic is at the core of AC Shadow's experience, they say. When in doubt, take a pause. Observe the world around you and only then decide what your next move could be. This is what it looks like right here. Now, I have a question for you guys. So she hits this button, and it tells you a couple things. First off, it gives you a number, which I don't understand, because this isn't multiplayer, so I don't think it's giving you a level number, but this one gets 28, and this one gets a skull. So I don't know what those are. I'm assuming this is hit points, the yellow or whatever, but you get that if you hit observe, so you can kind of look at any enemy and get a sense of how challenging they're going to be. You can also get a sense of all the interactive points in the environment. It's just kind of like detective vision or whatever, right? So it's pretty simple, pretty basic, but that's in there. That's replacing, I guess, the eagle or whatever, but it says they do have an eagle vision, but it's not the actual eagle. Eagle vision allows her to highlight the position of enemies hidden behind walls and other objects and isolate more relevant sounds they make. Eagle vision is a more dedicated stealth mechanic, encouraging her to slow down, take a moment to better visualize the enemies and gameplay. So this is what this looks like. And then I'll show you, we're talking about combining them. But this is where I got a lot of shades of Tenchu right here. Hey, it's all choppy. Hang on. I mean, this looks like modern day Tenchu, which is cool. And so the yellow guys are servants that will call the guards on you, and the red guys are actual things that can kill you. What do you guys mean in the chat about the levels? You guys don't like that. You're saying, oh no, it's the level system again. But they're the enemy, right? So I don't, what is it? I don't understand. What does it matter if they have levels? Doesn't that just tell you how challenging they're going to be? And what the skull, okay, the skull means, you're not going to be able to take that guy down, Bob. Is that what you mean? Okay. You can't stealth kill enemies if they're a higher level. It's just the difficulty. Okay, it's the level. I understand it's the level system. I'm saying, what is it? What is the number when it's on an enemy refer to? So if you're not a level 28, it means that you won't be able to deal with them, is what it means. Okay. Hiding in the shadows makes you invisible to enemies. During nighttime, any pocket of shadows becomes dynamic hiding spot in which you progress without being seen. This applies to interiors and exteriors. The ability to use shadows invites you to study your environment for hiding opportunities and routes. Create them yourself by destroying lanterns. She's perfectly capable of shinobi in broad daylight, but the cover of darkness gives her a remarkable edge over her enemies. Crouching is particularly effective indoors, minimizing the sound of nightingale floors. Specifically designed floors that creak whenever someone steps on them. That's the real thing. I was in Japan. The first time I went to Japan, we went to some castle, and they're like, you're walking right now on the nightingale floors. And we're, what's that? And they're like, this was one of sort of the defense mechanisms to make sure the emperor couldn't be assassinated, which is when you walk on the floors, if you don't walk very slowly and carefully, they squeak. They're designed to do that. And so they're showing that off here.
This is undefended. Stand on. Our forces will join up there.
That's enough.
You will rise with me.
Right? So it's real short clips, but Tenchu was peak stealth back in the day. It was. Okay, so if their skill is higher, you may not be able to just take them out, right? She can go prone. She has new movements when she's prone. Let's take a look at those. Then I'll read the chat. Hang on. Right, she can roll in and out of bushes. She's a ninja. She's an assassin. What do you want from her? That's what she does. That's her trade. That's her craft work. Right? I'm excited. You get smoke bombs, shinobi bells, kunai, which are basically throwing knives that can kill people if you hit them in the head, and shuriken, which will stun enemies and also distract enemies. All of these are very what's the word? Tenshu. Can you move the bodies? Let's find out. This is the new Assassin's Creed. The smoke bombs, this is what's interesting, is some of the enemies respond differently to the smoke. So most people will run away, but samurais will not. And so you have to know, okay, in this case, what they're doing is clearing out the bad guys that are dangerous, but they run when the smoke happens. But the samurais are like, nope, I'll stay. But it clears the way for you to go in and just focus on fighting that one guy. So what they're saying in the context of the article is that all of this stuff plays together, and it's meant to make it a deeper, more interesting stealth assassin game, basically. I don't know if it is or not. I'm just telling you, that's what they're saying. Grabbing enemies. While undetected, you can briefly grab and drag enemies in any direction to silently assassinate or take them down non-lethally. The grab mechanic removes some of the automation we've had in the series before. In Shadows, if you want to assassinate someone from a stalking bush, you have to manually grab them, pull them in, and only then can you dispatch them. Right? So this actually feels more like a 3D version of Desperados right now. But again, maybe this has all been in AC, but since I haven't really played a lot of it, I couldn't tell you. Falling stalactites, distracting guards in winter, or swift assassinations through shoji doors. There's a lot more they're going to talk about, including stealth ways to kill people. But I love the idea that you can assassinate somebody through one of those Japanese doors. Enemy tactics. Servants, for example, are a new type of non-lethal enemy that will alert guards when they see you. While they can't fight, their ability to call for reinforcements and raise alarms make them just as threatening as enemies who can. Servants have their own patrol routes, so it's important to keep tabs on them. When using eagle vision, they will stand out in orange. If you get detected, you are able to disappear again. Enemies will search for you in pairs. One is a watcher, one is a seeker, and will remain suspicious going forward. That means that tactics such as whistling to lure them over will only increase their suspicion and thus their ability to spot you. Unique enemy behaviors. We're almost done, but I'm excited. This sounds great. For example, samurai cannot be, it says certain enemy archetypes will present unique challenges. Samurai cannot be assassinated when caught in a smoke bomb, as seen in the clip earlier. Instead, they quickly evade the smoky area. This contrasts with the Ashigaru soldiers or servants who can be assassinated in smoke. Samurai are more prone to deny assassinations, and they can even slice bushes when searching for you, which removes options for you to hide. They will force you to adapt and think harder about how to get the drop. When approaching a target, a white assassination prompt, a little bit racist, indicates an instant kill. Yellow means you'll deal some damage, and red signals the enemy will completely deny your attempt. When it comes to assassinations, progress and context work in hand. Invest in perks that increase your assassination damage and test around. A strong enemy may survive a frontal, but may die from a sneaky in-air assassination. So in this case, he's about to fail. I think, yeah, he wasn't able to get that guy. This guy,
I saw you.
Yeah, this guy he can't get at all. Let's see.
I saw you coming.
All right, it's choppy, but you get the idea. So Darth Nugget says, I thought Jaffe hated stealth. He does nothing but complain about stealth in other game, but this excites him. Right, so this is what I'm saying, though. There is a difference between, like Desperados 3, one of my favorite games. What was the game that same team put out last year? Similar, but with like supernatural elements. The pirate one, whatever the fuck it was. When the game is built around the stealth and that really is a core of it, it becomes a lot more interesting to me. When it's just basically a game where, hey, don't move and wait for them to walk past you, and you're doing that over and over and over, that is horrifically boring to me. So, but this game is I don't know if it's going to be good or not, but I think one of the reasons I'm excited about it is it's filled at the moment, it seems, with these systems that you're able to layer on top of each other. And in that layering on top of each other, you get really interesting emergent gameplay that allows you to play it in the way that you want to play it. Now, that's what they're promising. I don't know if that's what it is, but, you know, that's why this little deep dive excited me. And yeah, there's two characters. Ravno says, sadly, they have two characters. That doesn't bother me. I'm not sure why that's a sad thing. It might give you some good variety. This is the samurai guy, but I don't know why it's so choppy. It's weird. But basically, he can do some stealth moves, like attacks from behind with his bow. But yeah, I mean, he's built to be a very different kind of character. Eddie T, right, he says recent AC games are more action RPGs than actual stealth. Right, that's another reason I think this is pretty fucking interesting. But we'll see how it goes. I don't fucking know. Here's two things I do know. Stoner Joe, thank you for the super chat. He says, watching and playing Call of Duty Black Ops, getting ready for the Gabbin' Games team qualifiers. You're goddamn right. Thank you for the super chat. We'll schedule that tonight or tomorrow when that's going to be, because that the actual battle with Gabbin' Games going up against Last Stand Media will be December 20th. And we got to get our team locked, and then we got to get some practice in, because we got the floor wiped with us. Did I do that right? A couple years back, and that ain't happening on my watch. I'll tell you what, though, Rob the Mod's coming on strong. So right now we got me and Rob the Mod, maybe Spaz or Spectre Bull. We're waiting to see on that. Collider, and then we've got one or two slots open that will be, seeing where it goes. And then I need something to be happy. Good Sir Ludo, thank you. He says, Jaffe, we know games don't exploit the capabilities of the hardware nowadays like games like God of War did. Do you think we could already have games now above today's standards? I don't understand. I push back on your question, sir. I appreciate your ducats. I appreciate you being a great part of our community. Thank you for that. But I don't know. I think this is the evil doing of Digital Foundry. When you say that games don't exploit the capabilities of the hardware like they used to. I mean, you don't know that. I don't know that. I'm sure that every game that gets made, I mean, here's maybe the biggest difference we can point to. The biggest difference we can point to is, unlike back in the day, the number of studios that are using proprietary engines are a lot less. Some of that's because there's less studios, but a lot of that's also because most people have just given over and said, fuck it, Unreal, or in the indie space, Unreal or Unity, just do it for me, right? So you don't have as much of the need to kind of get down to the, as they say, coding right into the metal or onto the chip. You know, you're not talking like assembly language, right? But I don't, I think games look amazing today. So I mean, God of War, I'm trying to think, God of War 1 was not the last game or one of the last games, but it was getting to the end of the generation of PS2. So certainly by the time you get to the end, you're going to get a lot of teams with experience and using the tricks and things like that. But I don't think it's because they don't want to. I think it's just, they're doing the best they can with all the commitments they have for the game to look better, be bigger, all these features. I think it's great, man. It used to drive me bonkers. Anytime we wanted to make a new game, it's like, let's make a new engine. I'm like, no. I didn't come from Hollywood. I was not a professional Hollywood guy, but I grew up and I went out to California to make movies. So I was very, immersed in that world as a guy with his nose pressed up against the glass. And it always struck me as odd. It's like, it's not like When Spielberg wants to make a new movie, he's like, well, we got to invent a movie camera. It's like you go down to Panavision. Well, not in his case because they rent from they have them in the studio. But you go down to Panavision, you rent a bunch of cameras, you're off to the fucking races. You don't think about it, So I don't know, though. The idea that you can say that games don't exploit the capabilities of the hardware today, I don't know. I mean, my follow-up would be, where are you getting that from? And you may be right, but I don't feel that at all. The problem, of course, is if you work with Unity, etc., there are limitations. Sure, and you can put in feature requests, but who knows? Well, yeah, I mean, that's why you need to make sure before you decide on the off-the-shelf engine, you make sure that the game you're making will be a successful fit for the engine that you're using, right? When we did Drawn to Death, I mean, it was a mistake to do Drawn to Death in retrospect in Unity. We should have done it in Unreal, but it was a choice built on caution, right? It was a choice because the asset store was a lot better at the time, and we wanted to be able to get something up and running fast because we were a new team and we didn't want to get shut down. And it was also because I met with a bunch of really high-end programmers, and they said, the game you want to make will work at 60 in Unity. And they were right, but it was a fucking monster to get it there on the part of the programmers. So, but anyway, yeah, so I'm grateful that the industry has shifted to that. But and I'm also grateful because it means a lot of people can make really neat looking games that don't have to be these amazing programmers. They just have to love games and spend the time learning. Listen to this, my friends. We got the sales charts for October. Some interesting numbers coming in here. I wish these charts would include the day the games came out so you could really compare. But Call of Duty Black Ops, no surprise, number 1. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, number 2. Silent Hill 2 came in at number 3. It won't be there for long. Apparently it hasn't sold brilliantly, but it's selling well enough to hit number 3. Metaphor Refantasio is probably going to have some really good legs, but it came in at 5. Veilguard is probably going to drop like a rock, came in at 6. Mario Party Jamboree is probably going to sell for a very long time, not like Mario Party or Mario Kart 8, but still really well, came in at 7. Echoes of Wisdom premiered at 4, dropped to 12. Hogwarts Legacy still on there. Astrobot had come out the month before at number 2. Dropped all the way down to number 15. And Life is Strange Double Exposure premiered at almost near the bottom of the top 20 at number 18. But I'd like to think, I think Refantasio, because the word of mouth, is going to be very, very kind to it. I'd like to think Silent Hill 2, it's clearly beloved. I think it's just delightful. Most people who have actually played it say it is excellent. And I would very much like to think that that's going to continue to be successful, even though it's probably never going to reach the heights of Resident Evil remake series. But there's your top 20. Jaffe says, Bulbo, when you made God of War with the team, was it release broken? No, you couldn't do patches and shit. Were there bugs, and how did you guys manage to release it unbroken, and why can't the games nowadays release unbroken? They can, but they don't have to. So that's kind of like asking, if you made television for black and white and then there were no more black and white TVs, now you have to figure out how to light for color. It was still an art to light for black and white. But my point is that as new technology came along, teams were able to sort of see what the market would accept. And they said, oh, we could, when you made a game on cartridge, for example, and you wanted to have a game out for Christmas, that game, unless you were like a first party or you were like a sequel to a third party, that, if you were making Mortal Kombat, Nintendo would figure out, they would just say, fuck it, you can get us the ROM set, the final ROMs, a month before, and we'll stop our manufacturing of everything other than Mortal Kombat. But, if you weren't one of those people, you had to have your game submitted for an October, November release, like in August, right? So you couldn't work on it as long. And yes, you had to test it for all kinds of breaking bugs. Now it's like, okay, we can release a patch, which means would we rather cut this level or finish this level? And then once this thing goes out for manufacturing or whatever, we have 4 weeks to fix this bug for a day one patch. So it really just, you know, it's not that teams couldn't do what was done back then. It's just that, you know, the audience has said to them, we would rather have other things that you spend your time on, and they've been financially rewarded for that. Sony used to test the games submitted from third party. Now I think they must have stopped or fucking sucked balls at their jobs. Yeah, there used to be first party testers in third party. When I started, I was a first party tester, and but it wasn't really, we didn't have third party. We were third party. We were Sony ImageSoft. Okay. No disrespect to God of War. The scope of the games today is way bigger. Yeah, no, there's no disrespect taken. I mean, it's a factor, but again, I assure you, if you had to have it working and you couldn't put a patch out or you were fucked, there are a lot of games that would either take longer to make because the audience would demand the scope, or would be scoped lower, so those games could get into test a lot sooner and you would be feature locked a lot sooner. You know, with the last game I did that was a manufactured game, Twisted Metal 2012, we had a day one patch. So I was at Sony San Diego like up until a week before we shipped that game, literally tuning weapons and car rotation and all kinds of things. And Scott out in Utah was like, look, here are the 25 variables you can fuck with. Anything else will break the game, right? So we couldn't change missile speeds, for example. If I wanted a missile to go faster, you couldn't do it. Because even if it wasn't online, it could break the collision. Because we had done enough testing to know that the highest missile, if you're sending that online and it's a missile that homes, so it's got to check the network or that send packets frequently. It's not just a straight line you calculate once and it's done. We have to make sure it's not moving so fast that it could go through walls or leave the database and suddenly you're fucked, right? Because where did it go? And it creates memory problems, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So, you know, you know, we were tuning a number of variables that were safe up until a week before the game came out, you know, and that's been good for games. But it's also been a thing where the audience has said, hey, we're good. Don't worry about it if the game's buggy. We'll show up, you know. This is why you produce for streaming in mind instead of proprietary hardware. I'm not sure I understand your point. What was your parents' reaction to your success? Did they realize you were a big deal? They did. They did. And I'll tell you the two things that stand out that warm my old pirate heart. One of them is that my dad was so proud always. I mean, you know, what a dad, man. He was a nut. I love that guy so much. What a wonderful father I had. And I think about him a lot. And he would go into the grocery store in Alabama whenever there was a magazine that I was in, and he would buy the magazine and he would go up, and all the ladies at the checkout knew him. He's this little old short dude. And he would just start gushing, like, look at this, my son's got a new interview in the magazine. So whenever I would come home to visit them in Alabama, they already knew who I was, and they were like, oh, your dad's always in here, so proud and all that. And my mom was a big fan of like celebrities. Like that was her thing. She just thought they were the knees bees or whatever. And bees knees. They were good. She liked them. She was impressed by them. And I went home maybe about 6 months after kind of all the God of War 1 stuff. So I was kind of flavor of the month or of the half year, whatever it was in the industry. And we were out one night and we go to Johnny Rockets, and two people just approached the table and they were just like, we're such big fans. And my mom got the biggest kick out of that. And then we went to Barnes and Noble in this little shopping center called The Summit. And people came up to me in Barnes and Noble and they were like, oh my God, we're such fans. And my mom being able to see that, I think she thought that was really, really cool. I mean, I'm not an idiot. I thought it was really cool at the time too. But it was nice that, yeah, so they got a sense that people were, you know, vibing with the success and stuff. And they were always so supportive. I mean, I don't mean this like I'm rubbing salt in people's wounds, but am always just amazed when I hear that people have parents that are not supportive. And I don't mean, again, I know it sounds like, oh, I'm giving myself a compliment. I'm really not. It's just that my parents from the get-go, were just like, hey, man, they didn't talk like that, but it's like, hey, man, go do your shit. We support you. Go follow your dreams. Why would you not? Why would you not be the one that gets to have that success? Somebody's got to, and it was great. So Gina is saying, can we have Jaffe tell us more about his thoughts on this? Now I'm curious. What are you, Gina, I don't even know what you guys are talking about. What do you mean? Jaffe says, Ravnos, I had games fail submission that had minor stuff. Now Cyberpunk 2077 was passed. Well, okay, you got to give me an example, right? Because Sony will let things, or any company, it's always about the money, right? So Sony will let things go if they, maybe they didn't know it was that bad, if it means it's a big title. But if it's kind of like, hey, we're doing beach buggy racing for PlayStation Network, they'll be like, try again. Because doesn't really matter if that ships on time to them. But if they miss Cyberpunk or a big Christmas release, yeah, they'll look the other way sometimes based on the frequency of the bugs. But clearly in Cyberpunk's case, they got it wrong. Addie Pie says, Jaffe, think about parents who can't fund their kids' future but need to be practical. Again, my parents were broke, man. My parents had a lot of money growing up, and then when I hit about 11, it was rough going for the whole time. I've told this story ad nauseum, but the things I remember are coming home from middle school and high school, and the power had been cut off because my dad couldn't pay it. We were not a wealthy family from 10 or 11 years old on. And it wasn't that they funded everything, although they certainly helped, but it was that they were supportive. That matters more, believe it or not. Gina says, any thoughts on the Colin and Greg drama? Reddit and online articles aren't giving us enough. I mean, it's not really drama anymore, is it? Did something new happen? I know it went down several years ago, but is there some new thing, or you're just talking about kind of the old stuff that kind of came and went? Because, Colin's been on the show a number of times, and I've talked to him about it specifically, and he went deep into it, basically just saying that, he's reached out to Greg on numerous occasions, and Greg clearly isn't interested, and Tim Geddes and Colin didn't see eye to eye, and he got the sense that Tim was kind of in Colin's ear and kind of saying, maybe he's not the best fit for us, blah, blah, blah. But that's old news, man. Unless something new has happened, but I don't know. Okay. What are we doing here? Let us move forward. Hang on. Okay. I just want to show you some things. Jaffe, would your games be different if you got to decide everything yourself? It seems that almost all games lose their unique charm in large teams. Yeah, 100%. 100%. But I got to do pretty much what I wanted within reason. Once a game was greenlit, it was pretty much, unless I was doing something that the programmers were pushing back on, and I, of course, respected the programmers, I was a pretty, these were games that, were my dreams that I got to work on. And as I always say, I'd like to think a lot of the key people that worked on those games also got to express their dreams and their passions in the games. But I certainly always feel that I got to. So I'm very grateful for that. Absolutely. Okay. I'm going to show you, I'm going to bring Pete Turtle in a few minutes, I know, but I want to show you guys a couple things. And this is the kind of stuff that some of you guys don't care about, but I just think it's delightful. I'm going to show you a couple of a little bit off the beaten path, gaming-ish, gaming adjacent stories here. Disney on Christmas Day is doing, I want to pitch you this, man. I want to pitch you this. I think this is really fucking cool. Disney on Christmas Day at noon California time is doing something called Dunk the Halls. There is a real NBA game that is going to be played betwixt the New York Knicks and the San Antonio Spurs. And what they are doing is they have teamed up with Disney, ESPN, NBA, and they're using Sony tech. And I think we've seen this before, but we've never seen it used like this, where there is going to be a broadcast of this sports game. You can watch the real game on ESPN, whatever. But all of the players will appear as a motion-enabled animated player for the Disney version. Right? So it is state-of-the-art, they say, real-time visualization tech enabled by Sony Beyond Sports. Combined with Sony's Hawkeye Innovations optical tracking, fans watching Dunk the Halls will see every three-pointer, dunk, layup, pass, and more from the real-life players, but they will be presented as sort of Disney animated characters. I don't know if they are doing it with effects. Like when there's a dunk, it's going to be like fucking NBA Jam. They haven't shown any of the footage yet. And then obviously they're going to integrate the Disney characters in. So they'll have like Mickey Mouse on the sidelines, and Daisy Duck's going to be one of the commentators. They say Santa's elves will operate cameras while Santa is operating the sky cam and the blimp up above, blah, blah, blah. I think this shit is really fucking cool, man. I think Bukaki says they did a game last year where the football teams were toys in Andy's bedroom. Was it actually real time, or was it after the fact? Because my understanding is they've been able to take the data after the game, and they've been able to sort of present it as such. Like, here's what the game was. But this is apparently no delay, or if there is a delay, it won't be noticeable to somebody watching it. And I am very eager to see how this goes and what this does. And you know, I want to see this. So you're saying this was live. I want to go see this. I'm going to take it off the screen so I don't get a copyright. I want to see this Andy thing. The toy. So if I just look up NFL Toy Story Andy's room, how was it then, Bukaki? If they did it, how Toy Story Fun Day Football was a fully animated alternate broadcast. Atlanta Falcons that took place in Andy's room. October 1st, 2023. Okay, so it came on Disney Plus. Let's see what it looked like real quick. And let's see how much of a push they gave to the, like, how video gamey it was, or was it just an art style? Hang on. Okay, hang on. Football, NFL, Andy room. Let's see. Okay. NFL Toy Story stream. Here we go.
The two tight ends in there. They fake the handoff. That's play.
Okay, so, I mean, this... Okay.
The two tight ends in there. They fake the handoff. That's play action to Travis Etienne.
All right, so this looks fine, but it better be better than this, because this is the actual game, and this is the Toy Story game. But they just look like big heads. But I mean, I want to see effects. I want to see fun designs. I want to see, like, you know, I want it to be much more dramatic than just this. But again, this was last year. So we'll see what happens on Christmas Day. They do real-time stuff for golf with overlays that show the ball velocity. Yeah, I've seen all that stuff. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. They did it with an NHL game in the year this year with players replaced by multiverse characters like Batman. NHL multiverse game. I want to see that. That's cool. I love this shit. I'm wondering why I didn't hear about it, because I'm not a geek like you. Yeah, multiverse. Shut up. Hang on. NHL hockey. Huku. Was this it? It might just not.
Colorado Avalanche with a 2-0 lead.
All right, so it may not be an actual game. They just. Interesting. Let's see. Okay, so they did like a little mini games on the, but this guy playing Superman is actually a real hockey player. Yeah, this is cool, man. And I'll tell you something else. What's amazing about this is, again, I understand that VR has not taken off, and that's fine, and it may never take off until we get AR. But being able, with this data, you guys have seen that, where you can kind of watch this on your dining room table. You can watch an actual football game in real time, or you can go down to the 50-yard line and it's actually the real football game. It's very fucking cool. I wanted to show you that. I also want to show you this. This is only right now in Manchester, but it's pretty fucking cool. It's pretty fucking cool. This is a live thing called Pac-Man Experience. I'll just play it. It's only 30 seconds, and we'll talk about it briefly. All right, so that's coming to Manchester. Obviously, you're not going to see, you don't have AR goggles, so the stuff you'll see will be projected on the floor like this. You're not actually going to see it in 3D necessarily, maybe if you're watching a broadcast. I don't know how they keep you in the lines, but I'm sure it tells if you've crossed the line, you lose points if you get out of the maze. I think shit like this is fucking cool, man. This is, I mean, seriously, like if you were, if you're my age, you grew up and watched these movies where it was like, it was set in the year 2020 and it's like, these are the sports of the future. And it was all kinds of stuff like this, or you're watching Superman playing hockey and all that shit. This is the same company, by the way, that did, we've looked at this before. It's the same company that does Chaos Karts, which is basically what you just saw, but it's Mario Kart. There's one in America called Battle Kart. There's none around San Diego, but everything's projected on the floor. And hang on, let me pause it real quick. And it's hard for me to understand how anything could be cooler than this. I mean, look at this. Look at this. This is so cool. If they did it with Mortal Kombat, you're in. Look, man, I want you to imagine for a minute. I want you to imagine AR glasses coming down in price, or everybody have them. Or just on your phone or whatever, and imagine going to a live WWE event, or imagine going to like a concert from Gwar or Kiss, or Kiss is trying to actually make you go watch the digital versions of Kiss. Fuck you. But I mean, WWE with actually Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat moves that show up in AR is going to be mind blowing. We're just starting. We're just starting to see this stuff come to light. And I mean, look at it. They're fucking playing Rocket League in real time in go-karts. They're fucking playing real Mario Kart. How can you not lose your shit? How can you not lose your shit? This shit is amazing. Bukaki says, check this out, Jaffe. It's a comparison between an actual game. I'm worried they're going to hit my channel with a... here we go. So this is the multiverses game, and this is the real game. I think that's pretty cool. Now, I don't think I would watch. That's cool they added motion lines to the puck. That's cool. It's almost like they could do that better if they kept the real players but just added the effects, which is totally lame. But if you could have like a layer that you choose to turn on, so anytime it goes in the goal, it's like the goal catches on fire and lights and shit, or the puck has a really cool trail behind it, or that shit is cool, man. That shit is fucking cool. I love that. So I will be watching that Disney Plus game, probably not at 9 a.m. California time, Christmas Day, but I will be watching it to see what it is. I've seen the Tesla robot in terms of the news stories that what's her face Kardashian got one, but I haven't seen it as it relates to what it does. I mean, is it a stupid looking thing? Okay. Let me get some Q&A and then we're going to wrap it up for the day. I may play some games tonight. What's today? Is today Friday? I think today's Friday. All the days blend together. Okay, one second. Let me check one thing. I want to make sure I didn't miss any of these chats real quick. So what I know we need to do is figure out the team for the charity Call of Duty, right? We'll do that. Fuzzy says WWE has tried some AR stuff. It's been lame. It's early though, man. It's early. It's kind of like the AI stuff we were talking about. It's just kind of, it's nascent. It's just coming out of the sand. You got to give it some time. I mean, the AR, you don't mean the stuff they do like with the stuff that floats over the arena on TV, right? Like if you know, I don't fucking know if who's wrestling anymore. If Ricochet's done, I don't know. Who the fuck is the big wrestler now? Is it still, what's his face, Roman Reigns? He's got like his logo that's animating and floating. I mean, I guess that's AR in the sense that you're seeing it in AR over your TV, but they haven't done any on the actual, in the matches itself, have they? Roman, Cody Rhodes, right. Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, right. And I guess when it comes to Netflix, I think it's, oh yeah, I'll bring on Peter real quick. I guess when it comes to Netflix, I guess Raw is coming to Netflix soon. That's when Becky Lynch is coming back, and I'll definitely be watching that. Look, man, I dig the Becky Lynch. I like the ladies wrestling. I don't like Roman. I don't like Cody Rhodes. I find their shit boring. Lutron, I'll figure all that out. What we'll probably do for scheduling it is we'll just pick a date, like, you know, in the next week and say, this is the date. Everybody jump in. We're going to have 5 fights and we're going to look at the stats, and the stats are going to determine, or the person's, you know, ability on the mic to be entertaining is going to determine if they get in or not. Pete Turtle, it's Jaffe. What's going on?
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
What's going on, man?
Doing a show, getting ready to roll into Friday, play some games, hang out with the family. What are you doing?
Nothing. I just got home.
Okay.
Yep. Well, I put on your show and I saw you were talking about the Call of Duty teams.
Yes.
And you left me off the list.
No,
I thought I was on the team.
No, I didn't leave you off the list. I actually said me and Rob and Spazbo or Spectre Bowl, maybe both, maybe one of the two, and then we've got in Collider. So we've got
a where's Pete Turtle in that list?
You have not made the list yet. I said you are on the list. You were competing, as you and I have talked about, and you are probably going to be on the list because even if you're not as good as everyone else, and you might be, but you're definitely better than I am, but you're not as near as good as the other guys. But you are really good on the microphone, and it's a show, and
right.
You know, and so even if you bring us down and make us lose, you know, it'll still make for entertainment. So,
well,
yeah.
Don't worry, I will lead us to victory, and I'm training because I can't stand those last stand media losers.
Okay,
so,
now if Gina decides to come in, though, she gets to take over your slot. Gina.
Oh, my baby girl.
Well, she's not your baby girl, but yes, you think she's your baby girl. But yes, she's a Call of Duty savant. She's like, you ever see that show? Did you ever see the show The Good Doctor?
No.
You know what it's about, though? The kid with autism who's a brilliant surgeon?
Is that the one who played the Psycho kid?
Yeah, he played Norman Bates. Well, Gina is that for Call of Duty.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She has a mental neurodivergent aspect to her, but it allows her to be insane with Call of Duty.
Okay, I don't know what the hell you just said.
You know the cost of it, though, for her is it prevents her from being able to understand sarcasm. In the chat, she says, "Oh, dude, I would really bring the team down. My skills are lackluster at best." Yes, Gina, I know. I'm not serious. I know you're great at RPGs, but I was just teasing, of course. Anyway, what's going on this weekend? What are your big plans for the weekend, P. Turtle? Let people know what you are doing so they can be jealous of the high life that you get to live.
Well, I'm working, and then I'm having a bed put into my room. Because remember I told you I broke my bed?
Mm-hmm.
So that's my weekend, man. I'm working, and I'm getting a new bed.
So when is the bed coming on Saturday or Sunday?
No, it came in today, but I have a friend that's going to help me put it together.
Okay, so Saturday you're doing that. What are you doing Sunday?
I don't know. I don't really plan for things like that at my age. You
So basically what you're saying is you're not going to church to pray to the Lord. I thought you were big and Christian. What's going on?
I don't go to church. I pray at home. I'm praying right now.
So you're a false religious person. I understand.
No, what I believe in is not what your idea of religion. Like, you look at religion like children look at it. You think like God is this great guy and he loves everybody.
I don't look at religion like that at all.
Fair. And why my God killed a whole bunch of people because they didn't do what he said.
Well, didn't he say go to church?
No, he didn't. That's some false stuff. You don't have to go to church.
Okay. Well, you know,
Jesus asked, how did I break my bed?
believe in God anyway, so you know.
Well, you should.
No, it's silly for me. For me, it's silly. It's great for you. It looks good on you, though.
Well, can I speak about something real quick?
Sure.
Because I actually just called in to ask about the Call of Duty thing, but since I have you, I do want to ask you this. I watched a few days ago your conversation with Colin.
Which one?
The Constellation. We're talking about
the election.
The election.
Mm-hmm.
And man, did he school you?
Oh, how so?
I mean, did you read the comments or did you not read the comments?
Oh, God, I don't read those comments, no.
Oh, my God, don't read them because it was 1,000 comments just talking just a bunch of crap about you. And I was loving it.
Express to me how I was schooled, though.
I thought schooled in that he didn't hold back. I thought
that's not my
with
point.
you being a good friend
what
of
argument
his,
did I lose?
With you being a good friend of his, I thought he was going to kind of reel back a little bit, you know, the transgender stuff. Mm-hmm. But he straight up said, like, no, transgenderism is a mental illness. And he was explaining how it's emblematic of the craziness that's going on your side and how people are sick of it. He made a joke about Kamala, you know, kind of blowing her way to the top. Sure. And you got so angry real quick and wanted to mention Trump's sex life, and you can't even compare the two.
So when Trump what I would say on the I don't remember him saying what you're saying he said on the Trump on the trans thing, but you can say a lot of things, but it doesn't mean you're correct. So I'm thrilled that he thinks that if he thinks what you're saying he thinks, that's wonderful. He has a right to his opinion, but
yeah. What was impressive to me, though, is that I've always found him to be like a fence-sitting nerd, which is why when he came on your show, I gave him hell. But the guy that I saw in that conversation that day, that guy's a boss. There was a moment, I don't know if you remember, where you were like leaning back and you had like your legs up, you had like your hands behind your head, and he was like, hey, you get on the mic, and you sat up like the principal of your school just came in class.
That's not exactly what it's about. That's because when I do this on his show, when I'm comfortable, they can't hear me. You understand?
I know, but I'm saying he straightened you out right away.
Because I am there as his guest, I don't want to provide for him something that would not be good for his audience. So out of respect for him.
It was fascinating to see you in more of a controlled environment and watching
that wasn't controlled. That was me going, oh, I respect this guy and he's right.
That's the control, because guess what? If you disrespect Colin, that's it. Your ass is irrelevant. You're never back on there with Gene Park, who's a fan of me. And by the way, real quick,
let me be clear.
Gene Park just followed me on Twitter.
Let me be clear.
Gene Park just followed me on Twitter.
Allow me to. Great. Let me be clear. I am a huge fan of Colin. I consider him a good friend. He is a good person. I totally disagree with him on a number of things politically. And frankly, anyone in my life that was disrespectful to me, I would cut out. Do you think I make decisions based on whose podcast I'm going to get invited on?
I didn't say he was disrespectful to you. He was basically the way you treat us in this on your show, where you think you're the big bad boss. He was that to you, and it was beautiful to see. I love seeing that.
Listen, I think if you want to project your little fantasies on other people, that's fine. I hope you enjoyed that and you got some nice whatever it is you get out of it. But no, but here's what I'll tell you though. I don't agree with a lot of his views when it comes to politics. I think here's what I will tell you, Colin aside though. I think there are a number of people that simply because Trump won, they take that as an assumption that they are right, and that is not accurate. They are as right or as wrong as they've always been for them. But that's something that the right always struggles with. To them, winning is everything, even if it means compromising. And everybody does that. Every human does that. But the right politically tends to do it more than the left. And so for them, winning is everything, and whatever you have to sacrifice is a means to an end, right? I think for the left, it's a little bit different. So yeah, we lost an election. So what? We're not going to throw our morals out the window. We're not going to throw our beliefs out the window.
You might not. The Democrats will if they ever want to win again.
Well, maybe, but then I won't vote for them. I mean, I'm not going to walk the earth looking to just win. Winning to win. I mean, look, you guys. I mean, seriously, let me ask you a question. You voted for Trump. You proudly voted for Trump, correct?
I didn't vote. I told you I didn't vote.
Okay, but if you actually could read, you would have voted for Trump, correct?
If I had to pick, yeah.
Okay. So this is a guy that, you know, look at his cabinet picks. Are you okay with what's going on with that? I mean, I don't care. You guys voted for it. Enjoy living in that world. We have to live in it with you. But sure, hey, man, give it a shot. But he won. He's going to get at least the next 4 years. Hopefully that's it to make some decisions. Cool. But when you look at these people he's putting on his cabinet, are you saying that you're down with that? And if so, can you explain why?
From the ones that I know, yeah. I mean, I know
Gates?
Matt Gaetz just stepped down, though. He's not
but
running.
I mean, why? What does it say about somebody who would put him up without even recognizing, you know, what he is? What about the guy?
But he is. He's never been formally charged with anything. Did you not just see what The View had to do, where they had to recant everything they said? He sent a what you would call it, a letter. What'd you say?
Well, there is my understanding. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. My understanding is there are receipts for in text for Venmo and another pay app where he's basically texting.
It's like a drug thing.
What's that?
A drug thing and
no, the women, the 17-year-old girls.
Something related to that and a drug thing. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, again, I care about the 17-year-old girls. I don't care about the drug thing. I mean, do drugs if you want.
Well, you know me, man. I'm a fan of that. So.
Anyway, point being though is, you know, he got in. We'll see what happens.
And then
I mean, maybe a lot of us Democrats are just kind of like, okay, yeah. Unlike other people that I won't name, we're not going to pretend that the election was stolen. They're like, no, he won. Cool. All right. So let's see what happens. Maybe, hopefully, it won't be the end of democracy. Would be great. That would be great.
Do you know who's the assistant secretary of the HHS?
Homeland, what is Health and
Human Services?
I don't know. No,
it's Rachel Levine. If you Google Rachel, can you put Rachel Levine on your screen right now?
No, I'm relaxed.
Oh yeah, you better not, because you would lose this argument. Rachel Levine is like a 500-pound trans man that has done nothing to transition.
Okay, and
that person is now being replaced with who? The most brolic, in shape man, RFK Jr. That person's going to be in control of our health.
They're aware this isn't a dating service where you swipe on the person you want to fuck, B-Turtle, right?
No. I'm older. I don't know about those things.
I see. Look,
at the end of the day, we're getting RFK Jr. to oversee our health.
Let's see what happens.
Hold on. Not Rachel Levine, okay? There's a new day. Trump will, I don't think he's going to save us, but optically, I'd rather my children see RFK Jr.
about optics
than Rachel Levine.
I am not. What I think you will see this time with at least people like me, right, is that there is no doubt. And I actually did see some of the comments when it was on Patreon. Once it goes off Patreon, I get out because it's, you know, it's Gen Pop like you that get in that don't pay, so I don't really care.
They were talking about your audience talks about me. It was incredible. I thought I was hated.
Right. So what I did see though was a comment. I'm trying to remember. It was like I don't remember what I was saying, but the point is this though. The point is that I think you will see a lot of people who, on my side just kind of going, okay, let's see what he can do. Let's see what happens. I think the guy is an absolute nightmare. I think he is a moron. I think he is in the pocket of Putin. But you know what? I hope you guys are right, and he's not. I don't like your social views. I don't like your backwards desire to, and I don't like how a lot of people don't really have the facts but think they do. Like take RFK. I don't have a problem with some things RFK says. RFK has said some right things, some smart things when he's talking about there's too many fucking chemicals in our foods, this, that, and the other.
Oh,
But he has also said stupid stuff about vaccines, really stupid stuff about vaccines. He said stupid stuff about, policy, his policies and Musk's policies, not that he's even in the cabinet at the moment, run afoul of Trump's desire to punish China. So who knows what's going to happen? But we'll see. We'll see. But I do think,
all right, well,
yeah.
Thank you for having me. Can I just say one last thing?
Sure.
Well, last time I spoke to Colin, I was pretty rough on him.
Mm-hmm.
And after seeing his debate with you, he has a little bit more of a spine than I thought. I thought he was like a Tim Pool fence sitter.
Mm-hmm.
But unlike you, because he is a lefty socially,
mm-hmm.
I like that he's realistic, unlike you. You're one of these pie in the sky guys. Like,
Mm-hmm.
why can't we all just get along? I mean, why can't the billionaires hurt too? I don't give a fuck, man.
Yeah,
I want my Fruit Loops.
You're not
for
smart.
$3.
You're not smart enough to give a fuck. But if you knew what I knew, you'd give a fuck.
Okay, racism. Go ahead.
Why is it racism?
Because I'm black and you're attacking my IQ. Go ahead.
I see. Okay. But yeah, you're not smart enough to understand what's actually happening. So sure.
Fair enough. But what I was going to say is, I know he's aware of who I am now. Gene Park follows me on Twitter, so I'm clearly important. Let him know I'm
not going
apologize.
to talk to him about you.
Why not?
I am doing the show. With Gene Park. We're going to get high and we're going to smoke out and we're going to watch the Game Awards in December. If you want to talk to Gene, call into the show. Talk to Gene. But I'm not going to I'm not going to be a matchmaker for you.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, you should. I've done a lot for you. You made like $500 on my name last time.
Okay,
I called it.
What is it you want me to do? And if I get like $1,000 on this show from super chats, I'll do it. Don't do that. Don't do that.
All I was gonna say is just let Colin know I apologize for
God,
schooling.
Colin's gonna be like, who? I'm gonna be like, yeah, I don't know.
Not he remembers. When I was done talking to him, he said that guy's intense.
Yeah, like a fart can be intense.
Well, you can remember a fart, right?
I try not to, P. Turtle. P. Turtle,
All
have
right,
a good
thank
weekend.
you for having me, Jeff. And
I'll see you later,
just let
buddy.
me know. Oh, wait. What's the best way to contact you for
Discord.
the
I've
trial?
told you 20 times. Discord.
Oh, like private or just send
I
it
don't
in the
give
chat?
a shit. No, send me a DM. That I'll see.
Okay, all right. All right, thank
see
you,
dude.
man.
Bye. There he goes, fellas. The Last Stand Media Squad right now is right now. I just know that it'll be Dustin. Dustin and Ben, but I don't know who else. I know Colin's not. He doesn't really play all the multiplayer stuff. So, I don't give a shit if they're right. I don't give a fuck about the comments. I mean, most of these people, if they actually called into a show, I would have a conversation with them. But, I ask a lot of these people all the time for facts and they can't really offer them. And when they do offer them and they prove me wrong on something, I go, oh, okay, yeah, you were right. There's a few things the comments have pointed out to me where I was like, oh, yeah, I thought something and no, I was wrong about that. Cool. Thank you for letting me know that. It's not about winning. It's just about having the data and being as right as I can be and making the smartest decisions I can make. But in the case of a lot of these things, no, I think they don't offer anything other than hyperbole and parrot talking points, I don't know what he believes. Here's what I'll tell you about vaccines. Peel Anche, he says, isn't RFK the moron that believes vaccines cause autism? I don't know. He believes a lot of things. And he says certain things. And then he says other things when he gets called on it. But here's what I'll tell you that's really funny. To me, is I was watching with the family. No, actually, I was just watching it with my ex. We were watching this show on Apple TV called The Morning Show with Jennifer Aniston, Reese Witherspoon. Really good show. And they cover a section of it because, it's set a couple years in the past and it's catching up. And they cover a section of it when it was COVID, and it kind of brought all of that back and just how, rough it was, blah, blah, blah. And what's funny to me about it is it's like all of the people that to this day still talk about how the COVID vaccine was bullshit and this, that, and the other. I'm like, look around. Do you remember what it was like for 2 years from 2020 to 2022? You couldn't go outside without being 6 feet. People were dying. Hospitals were packed. You know, it was a disaster. We lost millions of of citizens and millions of Americans. And now suddenly the vaccine comes out, and yeah, COVID still exists, but it's not it's not something you worry about anymore at all. So I don't know. I guess you know, something else. Maybe it was Jesus. Jesus, you know, came along. You know. Tapman says apparently those dead people never existed. Let me tell you something. I don't know if you guys remember this. If you're longtime viewers of the show, I had a guy call in, and I sent him a Twisted Metal car, that Sweet Tooth thing. I was going to give it to somebody else, but my heart broke for this guy. This was a guy who worked in a morgue, and he said the bodies. I think he was in New Jersey. He said the bodies were piling up. They were on the floor, and there were a number of them that they had to bring down to the basement because they were starting to decay, and they didn't have anything. They didn't know where to put them, and they couldn't bury them. And this guy wasn't lying. He wasn't calling in and lying. He was calling me from the morgue. After the last 3 world events, thank you, Stoner Joe D. After the last 3 world events related to me, I thought I might have changed your opinion. Even if you weren't out of your fucking mind, Stoner Joe, and living in a delusional grandeur world, why would it have changed my opinion? I don't understand that. But regardless, though, there are a lot of, like, there's a talking point right there. Okay, there's a talking point right there. And again, we're in the political end game at this point. I'm sorry. I'll talk games if you want. But I mean, I've gone through all my topics, so I'm sorry to get into politics. But this isn't even really politics. This is more media literacy, right? So one of the things Darth Nugget typed in the chat, which you may or may not have seen, was it's like, Jaffe, you will find facts to confirm your bias. That's a thing that happens. Okay, so let's solve this conundrum right now. Let me go first. Okay, let me go first. I want to deal with this issue, and I'm just going to go to ChatGPT, which doesn't mean it's not always right. It's biased. It's programmed by people, but it's an easier thing to do, and that way you can actually hear it. Okay. Nick Wiley, member for 8 months. Thank you, buddy. He says, how are you able to stay friendly with people who have such disgusting views? I can't do it. I think, it depends. If they hurt people, like, I always make it clear that you can't come in here and be hateful. I'm not going to hate you simply because you have a different view. But if that view actually manifests in a way that hurts someone else in the chat, or you make choices in your life that hurt other people, then I take great issue and I won't be friends with you. But I'm not interested in everybody can't agree. And I've been wrong enough. I've been wrong enough on things that I'm like, I'm not always right. I really am searching for the truth of things, even though there is an ego in everybody. If I'm this next topic, is, I would be stunned to learn I'm wrong on this next topic. But we'll find out. Before we do, though, let's read this real quick. Shesalai says, Jaffe, you keep talking about Sony needing to do streaming. Why not Nintendo? It seems to be doing well selling consoles. Why sacrifice the upside? Yeah, sure. I think that would be great. Nintendo rarely enters the conversation. They are so good at understanding the medium of interactivity that right now they can get away with being behind the curve technically, and they can also get away with selling really expensive stuff. A lot of people say Sony is Apple, but I actually think Nintendo is more Apple in the sense that they're very much in their own little walled ecosystem and nothing bothers them because they're the only real company that consistently seems to understand gameplay, which is the essence of the medium. So, okay. Jaffe has a way to get conservatives who disagree with him to give money every month. Yes, that I'm the real conservative. That's right. Okay. Let me ask ChatGPT. I'm not saying she's right. I'm not saying her opinion is my opinion, but it probably is because she does tend to go with mainstream views. Okay. Hey, can you hear me? Are you there?
I hear you loud and clear.
Okay, no, don't be Natasha. Just be you now. Just be a normal voice, please. But I love Natasha. I'll miss her dearly. We'll talk in the future. Thank you, Natasha.
Got it. I'm back to my regular self. I'm glad you enjoyed adventuring with Natasha. If you ever want to dive back into the zone with her, just let me know.
Zing, am I right? Am I right, ChatGPT? Zing.
Zing! You got it. What's up?
So I'm talking to some people about this. Okay, so let me just try to ramble for a minute. Bear with me. But so when COVID was a big thing in America, I'm under the impression, because I saw it on the news and I actually went to the ER for reasons that was not COVID related, that a lot of the hospitals in America were short-staffed, filled with sick people. There were beds out in the halls, and it was an absolute incredibly difficult environment where these people were working round the clock and there were not enough resources. And that's sort of my view on what it meant to be in the hospital world during COVID at its height in America. But there is a view that is out there in the world that says that is a lie. The hospitals were not filled.
During the height of COVID-19 in the U.S., hospitals were indeed overwhelmed, with healthcare workers facing extreme challenges like staffing shortages, overcrowded facilities, and limited resources. It was a very challenging time for the healthcare system. What's the other view you're hearing about?
Well, the other view I'm hearing about is a view that says that is not accurate, that the hospitals were not filled with people. There weren't really tons of people dying from COVID. And obviously that seems weird to me, but have you heard this view? And if if you've heard it, can you tell me maybe what are they talking about and where is this coming from? Or is this news to you?
Yes, I'm familiar with that perspective. Some people believe that the severity of the pandemic was exaggerated, often citing personal experiences or alternative sources of information to support their views. This skepticism can stem from distrust in mainstream media or government institutions, differing interpretations of data, or the spread of misinformation. This view contrasts with the widely reported experiences of many healthcare professionals and institutions during the pandemic's peak.
Okay, so when you are talking to people like this, have you found, like, when you show them facts, they'll show you their facts that say otherwise? Do you find that it's just best to let go of these sorts of conversations, or do you think there is a way to A, get to the truth, if, you know, and B, have a sense of truth that we both agree is accurate?
Engaging in conversations where both parties have different sets of facts can be challenging. It's important to approach these discussions with empathy and an open mind, aiming to understand the other person's perspective. Sharing credible sources and encouraging critical thinking can sometimes help, but it's also okay to recognize when a conversation isn't productive. In some cases, agreeing to disagree and focusing on areas of common ground can be the best approach.
Can you do this? Can you take the side of someone who does not believe that the hospitals were crowded and people were not dying as much as the media reported from COVID, and use the facts that you can find and try to convince me of that, or at least give me that argument?
Sure. Here's a perspective from that side. Some argue that the impact of COVID-19...
Stop. I want you to actually be that character. I want you to give her a Southern accent and go.
All right, here we go. Well, sugar, some folks, including myself, believe that the media blew this whole thing out of proportion. We seen reports of hospitals being empty and hear stories about how the numbers were inflated. Now, I'm not saying there weren't folks sick with COVID, but maybe it wasn't as bad as they said. We gotta question what we're told sometimes, don't we?
We always do. But what data have you found, Southern Lady, that suggests that this is one of those things to question?
Well, hun, some folks point to reports from certain hospitals that didn't see the overwhelming numbers others did. They also mention how some states reportedly classified deaths as COVID-related even when patients had other serious health conditions. They say we should look at the whole picture and not just what the mainstream media tells us.
Okay, but if somebody died and they did have COVID, but they died because of something else that they also had, like diabetes or what have you, COVID still would have exacerbated it and would have been kind of like a cocktail. So maybe it wasn't pure COVID, but COVID certainly, if didn't bring on the death with the other aspects that the person was suffering from, certainly accelerated the race towards death, correct?
That's a fair point. COVID could have made other health issues worse, leading to what they call a comorbidity. But some argue that the way these deaths were reported made it seem like COVID was the sole cause, which might not always be true. It's a complex issue, and folks just want clearer information.
Sure, I can see that, but I mean, let me ask you this. So, well, anyway, stop. Okay, that's all I need. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, ChatGPT. I'll talk to you later, bud. Okay, there she goes. Okay, so now where do I go to find the opposite view? I need something to be happy. They stopped ivermectin, which was actually healing people. Great. That's
wait
wonderful.
a minute. Hold on. Wait. Why are you in waiting?
Hang on, psycho. Hang on, psycho. So they yeah, maybe they did, maybe they didn't, but let's assume they did. Let's assume they stopped it. Regardless, for whatever reason they stopped it, they still, COVID's pretty much not the issue anymore. You know, do you pay for that? Yeah, it's $20 a month for the latest and greatest ChatGPT. Right. So if COVID didn't exist, says Tapman, the underlying condition wouldn't have been an issue. Here's the thing. Yeah, I'm sure. Yes, Joe Rogan took ivermectin. He turned out fine. Great. And that's an anecdote. And here's another anecdote. We are no longer living in a COVID nightmare. And it ain't because of ivermectin or whatever the fuck it's called. But sure, great. Maybe he got better on his own, or maybe that helped. But again, you know, sometimes it seems like the right, all they want to, it's like we all agree the media is horseshit, right? I don't think journalists are horseshit, but we all agree that when you have people making money off of data, like we always have, there is going to be an incentive for them to make more money by manipulating what they show us in order to create a narrative that makes them more money. We all get it. We all get it. And the left is as guilty as the right in certain things, depending on what we're talking about. But in the overall concept, they're all guilty. But why can't we just agree they're all guilty, but still go, just because this person is calling out the media doesn't mean that everything they say is correct. I can say things that are sometimes right and sometimes wrong. But just because you agree with one thing, you can't agree with everything. Yeah, Seeger says that's like saying I ate cereal when I had COVID and I didn't die, so the cereal cured me. They politicized the vaccine. It should never be right versus left. I agree, and I don't know who politicized it. All I can tell you is that, you know, if I was fucking running the goddamn government, I would be like, well, you know, from what we understand right now, and people were getting
I'm recently watching a YouTube channel called Secular Talk. Give him a watch.
Psycho, I'm doing a show right now, buddy. Buddy, I'm doing a show. I'll talk to you later, Psycho.
Sorry.
Okay. Thanks, bud. Thanks, Psycho. Yeah. So, you know, I mean, I don't know where I was. I don't know where I was. Ravno says, I'm not going to lie, I got a vaccine, a booster, felt sick, tested positive, felt like shit that night. The next morning, felt fine at 6 p.m., took a test, negative. Booster is greater than horse pills. Yeah, I don't know. I don't care. All I'm saying is it's like, you know, if you're running the country and you're getting new data all the time, you know, it's they were figuring it out on the fly, man. You can say Dems closing down stuff was a disaster. Maybe it was, but even that, you know, I mean, what would you have done? People were dying. People were, you know, going to work and getting near people and causing deaths. And that may have been a disaster. It may have been a disaster that if we wouldn't have done it, it would have spread to such an extent we may have lost 10 million people. But you know, Joe Biden's not in the White House, and at the time it was Trump, but neither of them were in the White House going, ha, 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 ha. The closest we have to that is literally Trump on a audio tape that you can hear with Bob Woodward, who says, oh, I know COVID's terrible. And Bob Woodward's basically going, well, why did you tell people it's not that big of a deal? And he said, I don't want to scare people. Right? That's the closest we have to them knowing something and lying to us to our face. But, you know, maybe his intention was correct. Don't scare people. I don't fucking know. But, you know, I don't know, fellas. I mean, it's, you know, I think we are all in this together. You guys, and maybe that's one of the reasons people say, well, Jaffe, how can you put up with the right? Because they are not the enemy. Some of their ideas are the enemy. Some of their concepts are the enemy, but the enemy are the people who are intentionally dividing us in order to make money and then pass policy that makes them more money at the expense of us. And then I can't look at people who just have a different opinion as the bad guy. The bad guy are those folks that I just described. That's what I have to worry about, really. You know. They could have saved a lot by just limiting travel. People traveling causes so much sickness. Sure, but people would have complained about that. You can't limit my freedom. And it's like, yeah, I get it. I get it. Yeah, Lucas says it's possible the FDA has allowed things that for 20 years will be considered bad, but I need to trust the FDA for my sanity. Exactly. There's always going to be something. And sometimes it's going to be that they didn't have the right information yet. Sometimes it's going to be because somebody in the system was corrupt. But more often than not, I'm glad we have the FDA there to make sure that our food is okay. Is it great? Would it be great if we didn't have all the chemicals everywhere? Sure. But, you know, it would also be great if the lobbyists didn't control the government, which is why we have all the chemicals and bad, you know, corn syrup and all this shit in our food. But the minute we get into a conversation about that and say, let's vote in people that want to get that kind of money out of politics, maybe at the lever of a constitutional amendment, the politicians don't want that and the lobbyists don't want that. So what do? They fund a bunch of wedge issues like trans bathrooms to get people to the polls to vote for the people that will continue to keep things the same as it's always been. So, you know, Nugget says, but then you're complaining about RFK being appointed, who specifically speaks out about lobbyist shit. I did not say, what did I say when he came up in this conversation? I said, there are things that I like about what RFK says. I don't necessarily want to trust my health to him, but do I think that he wants to, or do I support the idea if you're saying he wants to get lobbying out of politics? Great. You got my vote, RFK. Absolutely. Absolutely. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about, you know, and frankly, the media has treated him poorly in some ways. I saw a headline recently on Vulture, and I don't really know Vulture. I don't know if it leans left or right. And it was saying that RFK wants to put people who take Ritalin in camps. And it's like, okay, well, that seems weird. Let me read the article. And when you actually read the article, he was talking about when he was running for president, he wanted to create taxpayer spas that people could go to on their own volition to deal with internet addiction, and if they are on certain medicines, including Ritalin, that might be overprescribed for them as individuals, there would be a program that the government would pay for, and it would allow them to transition off those drugs if they didn't really need them, right? That is a failure of capitalism. Not that I have a better idea, at least more regulated capitalism, because somebody thought that headline would get clicks. And you know what? It did. And so who loses? I lose, you lose, everybody loses except the people who make the money off the clicks. And I don't mean the journalist that's making barely enough to get by. I mean the people who own that website or own the ISP or whatever it is at the top who's actually making those decisions. So, you know, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Except we should really stop assuming. There are some enemies on the right and the left that I wouldn't put out if they were on fire. But most of them, no. I just think everybody, you know, they are feeding us not even lies all the time. Sometimes it's true, but they are consciously putting us on a chessboard against each other. And they are making money and we are miserable. And the sooner, I mean, it's nuts, man. It's nuts and it's dangerous. It'll destroy us. But, you know, that's okay. I'm 53. How much, you know, if I live another 40 years, that was a good time. I had a good time. It's just life. People are like, oh no, the Russians are going to launch nukes, eh? Maybe. Maybe. You're going to die something. You got to go out some way. Yes, I do call out both sides. I agreed. This is what's funny. This is what drives me batshit. MC Hammerpants says agreed, but you won't call out both sides. What did I... Let me ask you something, Hammerpants. Seriously, I want you to take this to heart. What did I just say? What was I just talking about? I literally just told you that the media was attacking wrongly RFK for saying he wants to put people who take Ritalin in camps. That was not me attacking the right RFK supporters. That was me going, hey, left-wing media that I tend to agree with more often than not, you don't get to do that. It's not okay for either side to do that. I literally just finished telling that story. And now you're like, you don't call out both sides. I mean, I can't connect with somebody like that. I don't know what to tell you, MC Hammerpants. Is it true, Jaffe, the Biden authorized Ukraine to use missiles that were given to them against Russia? My understanding is, yeah. My understanding is he said you guys can now use long-range missiles against Russia. Jaffe, are you going to play Stalker? I've been playing it. It's great. It starts out great if you walk in the right direction. If you do what I did and you happen upon a section of the map that doesn't tell you anything, you can be stuck there for an hour like I was going, I don't understand what the fuck is happening in this stupid fucking game. But once you get past that, if you happen to get trapped in the bullshit onboarding, so far it's excellent. Very immersive, wonderful. I'm really enjoying it. David says I started it and did the same thing. Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, if we want to get mad at somebody, don't get mad at the right, don't get mad at the left, let's get mad at Microsoft. They are so close to absolutely having a real watershed moment here that will be good for the industry. And, you know, I don't know what to tell you. They just keep dropping the ball. Dropping the ball. I blame Matt Booty just because that's his job. I don't really know who's to blame. Matt Booty may be going, dude, I agree with you, Jaffe, but I can't get anything done. Not with X. I don't know who X is. Just Mr. X, Mrs. X. I don't know. But Microsoft, oh my God, Magnum, I know. Microsoft didn't make or publish the game. I know. But here's what I will tell you. Microsoft worked with the publisher and the developer. They are on record. They've talked about how if it wasn't for Microsoft, these guys would not have been able to do the game. They offered tons of support, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's A. B, this is one of Microsoft's, I'll walk you through it real quickly. Call of Duty has brought tons and tons of people to Game Pass. Now, eventually, maybe now, maybe in a month, maybe in 6 months, but let's assume now, they're going to wake up and say, I love Call of Duty, but I want to see what else is on this Game Pass thing I got. Oh, here's this game everyone's talking about. Shooters. I like Call of Duty. I'll play Stalker. Okay? It's also a console exclusive. Whether I've seen reports that it's only exclusive for X months, and I've seen exclusives for ever. I don't know how exclusive it is. But even if it's for 4 months, 3 months, it's basically out there as a premier title for Xbox. And thus, it would benefit their ecosystem to make that game a success, just like it would have benefited their ecosystem and their business to make the medium a success. If it meant they had to fly people out to Bloober Team and go, guys, this is going to be an exclusive for a year on our box, and we're going to push it. They didn't push it as much as Stalker 2, but they've pushed it. Let's work with you on this. This could be a real good game. And Samian says Stalker and Call of Duty are very dissimilar. Yeah, but they're guys with guns on the box, is my point. The point is, if you've never been in the Xbox ecosystem and you get Game Pass, like a lot of people are, and you're like, because of Call of Duty, and then you're going to look to play other things that are on there. Just like it's not like you get Netflix and watch one show and you never look at anything else when, you know, at least most people do, look at other things. And so you're probably going to go, oh, that's a guy with a gun. I like that shit. And they could have done a much better job with the onboarding, is all I'm saying. That's not the point, Magnum. Come on. What did you learn? What is it? Is it just about being right? Is it not about actually arriving at a train station of logic? Magnum says, did you want Microsoft to send a bunch of Americans to war-torn Ukraine just to help make a game? Yeah, Magnum, because everything I said is built upon the idea that nothing could be done to help them if they didn't get on a plane and fly into a war zone. There was no way for Microsoft's producers in Washington State to play the game, send notes, say, hey, if you want our marketing support, if you want to be on the front page of Game Pass without having to pay for it, if you want to be at all of our conferences, this is not a problem, but you got to work with our guys because we're going to help you make this game better. Send us a build. We'll put it into test here in America. We'll run it through our guys, not for bugs, although that would have been great, but for play testing. But yes, in your mind, though, Magnum, what I wanted them to do was send them on a plane. And no, I said fly devs out to Bloober Team. That's in Poland, which frankly, these days, Putin did just say, hey, you better watch out or I'm going to launch one of these missiles at the American base in Poland. But at the time, that was not a problem. Thank you, Ultra Awesome. I appreciate that, buddy. I agree. This is the best goddamn show on the internet. It's the best goddamn show on the internet. I can't get more people to watch it, though, but I love that you guys are here. But I'm always thinking, people say, Jaffe, why are you always adding shows and changing this and changing that? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just trying to build an audience, man. But it's hard. It's hard. Courtney, I'm tired, but I'm fine. I feel good. I'm having a good time. Looking forward to the weekend, but yeah. Jaffe, break down how exactly both sides are being pitted against each other. Okay, so the right is being told that, hey, Gina, if you can get me some, I'm trying to get partnerships. I'm trying to get sponsorships, but I don't know how to do that. I'd love to hire someone that can do that. That's like, oh yeah, I'll take some money from you, Jaffe, and I'll do that work, but not like an agency. I need a person because agencies are, Anyway, point is though, okay, so the people on the right are being told the left, with their support of LGBT folks, they're coming for your kids. They want to groom your kids, even though statistically speaking, the number of drag show queens or trans folks who have been caught grooming children is per capita minuscule compared to the number of straight white males that are sometimes, more often than not, in religious affiliations. But so they'll do it that way. And that'll be the big thing. That'll be the, like, why aren't we talking about this? Why is this a thing? Shut up. Nobody cares. It's a small segment of a very put upon group of Americans. Leave them alone. Right? But again, Mike is right there going, leave the kids alone. No one is doing anything to the kids, Mike. That is what I'm saying. Your side is being hoodwinked and bamboozled. Okay? It just is. You're being lied to, man. And I know more than most because I have a trans son. I have been through the process with an underage person who's like, hey, Dad, I'm trans. I know what that experience was like, and I am in liberal California. Okay? The way the left is being pitted against your side is probably stuff like false narratives as well. I mean, you can go to even the debate that Kamala had with Trump, where she brought up the fallacy that at the time I knew was not true, but it took me a couple years to realize that the left media was lying. When they said, Trump said that there were good people on both sides of white supremacists and the people protesting. And that's, as much as I was like, he did say that. I heard that. When I actually went back, unless the tape was doctored, which I don't think it was, he didn't say that. Well, Kamala literally said that he said that to his face at the debate, and the moderators didn't call him out. Look, I think Trump's a vile guy, but I don't, you call it like you see it, and the guy didn't say that, right? And again, another thing that I have found that is, and I've talked about this before, but I'm just so grateful to have found it, is this right here. Is this delightful website. And this will blow your mind if you haven't exposed yourself to it. But this is Ground News. And what it does is it will tell you basically who's reporting what. So it'll say, hey, look, Elon Musk wealth hits record 350 billion. Okay, the center's covering it, the left is covering it, the right's not covering it at all. Elon Musk floats buying MSNBC. The right's totally covering it. The left is barely covering it. Kim Jong-un not interested in talking to Trump. The center will tell you, the left will tell you, the right won't. So you can actually go to see your news bias, and you can see your blind spots on this. And it's not in terms of lies. It's in terms of what part of the media is reporting what and what they are leaving out. And that sometimes is worse than the lies. It's lying by omission. Right? And then they will also, if that wasn't enough of a service, which it is, they will also then go into the individual news sources, right? So let's take a story that the left is ignoring, that the right has decided to report on. So let's go to the blind spot feed, and let's say we're seeing a lot of reporting on the right about MSNBC buying, which was just a tweet, but let's go to, well, that's not even that, but let's go to it. Okay. So it'll tell you who's reporting it on the right. It'll tell you how factual they are. Timcast, mixed factuality, low factuality, very low factuality, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's very high, right? So if you go to the center, Newsweek has high factuality, and they're reporting on it, right? And then it'll also tell you who owns a lot of these and what their vested interest is. It'll give you media bias ratings. It'll tell you who owns it. It'll tell you how factual they are. And again, check it out. When you say who's doing these reporting, They go to 3 different sources: Ads, Fontes Media, All Sides, Media Bias, Fact Check, right? All of these different services will give you their opinion, and they aggregate to tell you if it's mixed, factual, whatever. Again, Darth Nugget, so who checks ground news bias? I just told you. They have 3 independent sources. Do you understand the trap that you put yourself in? The trap is, yes, you're never going to get a perfect, in a vacuum, piece of data. Okay? But it's better than what you're usually getting, which is nothing. Right? It's like, so you're saying because anytime data comes across your table and it could be skewed one way or the other, and newsflash, it usually always is, that just means what? So you just go to some podcast just because it's entertaining? I mean, you gotta trust somebody, or you gotta at least use the data in front of you and choose which data you're going to use on a moment-to-moment basis. You may as well go with what seems to be more legit than something else. Because by that logic, Darth Nugget, what's ever going to come around that makes you go, that's going to make you go, that's who I listen to, other than just your bias? And you got to be careful with the bias. Okay. I'd rather just read multiple sources for the same story and determine what the truth is. You have time to read all these sources. And again, it doesn't say don't read them. It's not telling you not to read them. It's giving you the sources. If you go to God, why you guys are so ready to fight that you don't even realize that you have been manipulated into being ready to fight about anything and everything. No one is saying don't check the sources. Here's something the right isn't covering. Maybe the right, the left is full of shit. Cool. You know what? Here's the source. Here's a source. Go read them all. If nothing else, it's giving you a place to find the data. I'm fighting then. I'm fighting. Because your pushback is not, your response should be, in the world that we are in, which is a nightmare because no one can agree on anything, should be, hey, at least someone's out there trying. And is it perfect? No, but it's probably more perfect than what has been offered up until now. It's certainly more perfect than, a billionaire, the richest man on the planet, buying a social media company or buying the Washington Post and putting their thumb on the scale. Wouldn't it be great if we could at least agree with that? I don't know. It's depressing. I'm glad it's Friday. MC Hammerpants says, Jaffe, we cannot bring both sides together if they're unwilling to talk. You're an exception. Why do you think the left is unwilling to talk to the right? I think it goes both ways. I think it goes both ways. Stoner Joe, thank you, buddy, for the super chat. He says, beware of false prophets, Jaffe. Trust me, every month I check my bank account, it's false prophets. So trust me, I'm worried. But thank you for that. I appreciate it, man. You've at least contributed, so it won't be this month. Thanks, sir. The U.S. should make a social media. Well, I mean, I think the U.S. should make but I mean, you can't trust that either, right? You got to be careful with trusting the fucking, then you've got Pravda, But I do think, there should be, there's a better way to do it. It doesn't mean you get rid of Twitter. Doesn't mean you can't. You shouldn't, not in America. But do I think, I am saying show me the data. Show me the data the hospitals were not crowded. Where is it? Don't tell me to go research it. Send me a link. Right now on this stream. Tell me what to type into Google. Right now on this stream. But yeah, I'm not saying you want to stop the private sector from doing what they want to do. It's a free country, but do I think there should be alternatives where it's like, look, that's not that's not the only way to do it. So, yeah, you can't get rid of them. It's not American. It wouldn't fly, or at least it shouldn't fly. The legal system in the U.S. can't take down tech conglomerates, so that's why I kind of think we have no hope, says Gina. I mean, with this new Supreme Court, who knows? But they're not going to want to. Yeah, Ravno says Pete Turtle's in New York City. He says he should have seen packed hospitals. Absolutely. No, I would never become a politician. I'd love to interview a politician and ask them some real fucking questions. Like, I would love to get one of these people and say, you have to explain this to me. You have to explain this to me, that if we are to believe, which I think is correct, that most people enter politics out of a desire to do good and create a better world, it seems that none of y'all, for the most part, are willing to rock the boat once you get in. It seems like being unelected is the worst thing possible for you. And people get fired every day from their jobs. And people have to get laid off, and people have to, reinvent themselves every fucking day of the year. And you've got more resources than most. Why are you so scared of getting fired? Rock the fucking boat. That's what most people want. All right, David Seeger, always good to see you, buddy. Thank you, sir. That's what I would ask them. I would ask them point blank. It's like, why, what happens? When you get into politics, when you get voted in, do they reach into your mind and pull out your deepest, darkest secrets and say, if you rock the boat, we will expose this? Is life so good as a politician that a human cannot deny that sense of power and will do anything to keep it? Because so you lose your job. So what? People, like I said, people lose their jobs all the time. What's the big deal? Especially these guys are so fucking rich by the time they lose their job. It's not like they're going to be on the street. That's what I would want to know. That's what I want to know. And by the way, so Hammerpants says, yeah, lolly lully though. Hammerpants says, here's my theory. The right believes the left is stupid. The left believes the right's immoral. What I can tell you about that is, and this is what I said, by the way, on Colin's show. And I did see, that's what I was going to say to, I think, Pete Turtle, that I remembered some of these comments. I was just like, I didn't, people came at me and said, Jaffe, you're saying if you don't go to college, you're stupid if you don't go to college and you don't have critical thinking skills. And that's not what I was talking about. But again, I was trying to be, honest about the data I had seen. And I will show you the data. The data says, and this was a story about what a battleground state is. And the idea was, the reason we have battleground states is that in states where you have the majority of people that are college educated, those states vote blue almost 100%. And in states where the majority of people are not college educated, those states vote red almost 100%. And a battleground state is when the education in that state is basically 50-50. Okay? That's basically what I was saying. And so they were saying that if you go to college, it doesn't mean that you are smarter than the guy that didn't go to college, but you learn as going to college critical thinking skills that might make you more susceptible, possibly, to a bunch of horse shit from the left, or it might make you more inoculated from the horse shit from the right. I don't know. I was just stating that fact about critical thinking. And Darth Nugget says, in states where people go to indoctrination camps, which is what you have been conditioned to call college, they tend to vote for people that indoctrinated them. I went to college. I didn't get indoctrinated. I was a liberal, lefty, progressive fuck since I was probably 10 years old. And I can show you the data. It's not, you know, I mean, look, Gina's in the chat. Gina and I went to the same college. I don't know about her because she was about maybe 10 or 12 years after me, so she's more recent, okay? But never once when I went to USC did I get indoctrinated. I took journalism class, and the journalist was like, dude, you got to get every fucking side. I took politics. It was never like, you know, the right side is bad. This is USC. Most people who went there were from wealthy families that were probably conservative to begin with. Yes, I had student loans. Twisted Metal 2 paid off my student loans. I had Pell Grants coming out my butthole. So I didn't have that experience. Gina didn't have that experience. So I'm not saying kids don't. But, you know, I'm the guy that's always said, I got really upset when colleges take conservative people. These fucking students today, where it's like, we're not going to have Ben Shapiro, who I think's a nightmare. Fuck off, you dumb college morons. You want your kids, if you're a parent sending your kid to college, exposed to these ideas. You want them exposed to thinking that is different, because it'll either change their thinking, or it'll allow them to learn to push back on thoughts. They go, wait a minute, that doesn't feel correct, right? This idea that these kids can't be exposed to this is ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. So I don't buy it, but I do buy this data, which is in fact, look at this, state voted. Now tell me if this is wrong, Darth Nugget. Blue, red, educated, this was a viral thing. This says states with fewer grads went to Trump. So that's different now. So here's new data. Let's look at it. America's diploma divide. States, okay, so states with fewer graduates went for Trump. Residents over 25 with a bachelor's degree or higher got more votes for Harris. Right, so the less educated, not less smart, the less educated went for Trump, but that's not what I wanted to show you. The most educated states vote blue, red states least educated in the U.S. I mean, let me tell you something. When you guys got the guy, who's the guy who basically wants to put the Bible in the curriculum? It's not Texas, it's like Louisiana or something. Who is that guy? He's made a bunch of news this week. Governor. I spelled it wrong. Fuck it. You know who I'm talking about, right? Governor. Bible curriculum, classroom, something. But here you go. Texas School Board approves optional curriculum that incorporates the Bible. Approved a new K-5 curriculum that allows Bible teachings in classrooms. The curriculum includes biblical and Christian lessons about Moses. Moses is not in the Bible. The story of the Good Samaritan, the Golden Rule, readings from the book of Genesis, and more. The accuracy of the materials come under scrutiny. So if they want to do a class, I don't want to get into this one, but I mean, if they want to do a class in religion, sure. But if, you know, like, hey, here's a bunch of different religions, but they better not be putting that into fucking science. I mean, seriously, think about what you're saying. All these people that want to get rid of the board of Moses is in the Old Testament. He's not in the Bible. Yeah, look, I don't mind them teaching Moses along Zeus and Hercules. The Ten Commandments, hang on. I mean, good. I don't have a problem being wrong about the Bible either. I'm fine with that. Let's see. Is Moses in the New Testament? Moses is cited more than any other Old Testament prophet in the New Testament. Well, there you go. See? You're right. I'm wrong. I don't have a problem being wrong. So he's all over it. He's all over the New Testament. Great. Okay, fine. So you are going to teach this as it relates to religion and all the religions, cool. But if you're going to teach it as some kind of fact, yeah, that's a real problem. And if you have children and they're in the Texas educational system, now it does say it's optional. Maybe that's how they're trying to get around it. What they probably really want is this to go to the Supreme Court and see what happens. But anyway, it's not even Texas I was thinking about, though. There's a Bible curriculum school. It's this guy. Is it Kentucky? The point is that this guy literally has the lowest. What are the lowest educated school scores in America? West Virginia. If you look at the red states, they got the people that score the lowest. This isn't college. This is high school, grammar school, middle school. What? I mean, don't you see a problem? That they can't pass some fucking basic high school fucking aptitude test? What about, okay, look at Chicago. What should I type in about Chicago? Illinois in general? I mean, here's Illinois. Illinois ranks, what do you want me to type, Darth Nugget? I will Google it. Do I just type, where does Chicago school public rank nationally? Let's see. How good are Chicago public schools? For 11th grade, only 22% could read at a grade level. Yeah, terrible. Absolutely terrible. Probably because they're not funded. But, you know, what's your point? You want to see... No, not in general. Cook County. Tell me what to Google. Just give me that so I can do what you want. Jaffe, all ideologies are designed to be promoted and grown by its followers. The guy trying to promote Christianity is operating on this. Yeah, it's horrible. It's crap. It's crap. What do I Google, Darth Nugget? That's all I'm asking you. Please tell me what to write in the Google box. Okay. You know, look, media literacy, man. Yes, somebody in the chat is laughing. I think it's Gun. Hey, Gun, buy yourself a fucking subscription, motherfucker. He says, Jaffe doesn't realize the Bible consists of both the Old and New Testaments. Well, so what? No, I don't. Because the Bible is pretty irrelevant for me. I don't really care. You win. You know more about the Bible than I do. Whatever will I do? Whatever will I do? Hey, Doug, thanks for being here, buddy. Trumpers are dumbasses. Well, I mean, see, I don't believe that, Nate Dogg. I believe people on both sides are easily manipulated by the powers that be. Do I believe that there are more people that voted for Trump that don't have an advanced education? Yes, statistics show that. I don't think that means they're dumbasses any more than somebody's a dumbass on the left for not checking news and just going with the herd. The biggest problem, though, is, but there are a lot of dumbasses for sure. Absolutely. You know, but look, even Darth Nugget says anyone who pledges allegiance to a politician or a party is a dumbass. Right. Or the flag, by the way. When the fact that you can claim to be American and support when Trump stands up there and says, we're going to get kids, you know, we're going to he literally said, I can play the clip, we're going to teach kids to love America, saying the Pledge of Allegiance and all this stuff. What? Why would you do that? Don't you want if your kid falls in love with America, it should be because they actually learned about America and they said, you know what? For all of the warts, like every other country, for all of our founding problems, there's still greatness here, and I have come to love this country, if you can love a country at all. I think that's great. But to indoctrinate you It's ridiculous. No. You stand up and you pledge allegiance if you believe in it. But you don't train. What is this fucking... No, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Mike, I'm not even going to answer that question. Trump is exposed. Most people just want to feel triumphant. They do not care about preserving. Yeah, I mean, and that is a big problem the left has. The left actually thinks that when they point out that the right is doing something that defies logic or proves them to be against what they say, they think that pointing out is some kind of victory. It's like, yeah, you're right. They don't care. It's not. It's about winning for a lot of people, and especially on the right. And again, I'm not saying the left doesn't want to win, but the right seems more interested in winning at any cost, including they'll say things are important, and then they'll drop them the minute they get what they want, and that's fine. It works for them. It works for them. It's a winning. Solution. I don't like it, but they seem to be okay with it. I don't know what to tell you. I'll tell you something interesting. 1 Minute Gamer, this is somewhat related to video games, but not much. The Bible, he says, was created by some random person or people the same exact way any story is created. So I was out in Utah working on Twisted Metal 2012. And frankly, I forget. All right, buddy, see you, Lutron. Frankly, I forget who it was, but it was a guy that was working on the team, very religious guy. Or he was, and he was telling me that he actually was going to become a priest or something. I don't know what a Mormon priest is, but he was really on the track to become a professional religious guy, whatever that is. And he said he was really into it. So he actually went and studied. He learned Sanskrit because he wanted to read the Bible, the original text. And I said, so what happened? And he said, well, what I learned was that the Bible, not just all the stuff that came after, like the Gospels and stuff, but just the basic Bible, he said, you can trace back to where parts of it were written and where parts of it were changed and parts of it were quotes have been attributed to Jesus that we know who actually said them, and it wasn't Jesus. It was maybe a leader 500, 800, 1,000 years later that said it, but then they rewrote the Bible and said, let's attribute that to Jesus. And he was like, once I realized that, it's not that he became less religious, or it's not that he didn't believe in God or anything. It's that he could no longer believe in the institution of it because he realized how manipulative it was. Now, I don't know how true that is, but it seems like that's pretty easy to fact check what he was saying. And if what he's saying was accurate, I get it. I get it. Okay. Here's the deal, my delightful delinquents. That's it. How long have we been going? It's been a good show. Most of it was about games. I hope you enjoyed it. I don't like to go into politics, but at the end, I don't mind. When we're doing Q&A, I don't care. Because at least if you showed up for games, you know good and goddamn well that, you got what you came for. And then at the end, we talk about whatever. I like politics too, Nicholas, but not everybody does. And so I want to make sure they get their game nutrition at the beginning. Yeah. So, all right. That's it. Maybe I'll be online. What time is it? It's 7 o'clock here in California. I don't know what my night holds. If I'm still in tonight, which it probably will be, maybe I'll stream some games. If not, don't forget, seriously, you guys, where did it go? I got to show you one thing real fast. Don't forget, if you're into this shenanigan, tomorrow, if you are a Cult Calypso member or God of War or a mod here or over at the other place, the Discord, Clash the Titans will start Pot and Popcorn at 4:15, 4:30. This is wrong, and then everybody, all members, not everybody, but all members, including Diet Soda Soldiers, get in at 6:15 or so for Evil Dead. You don't have to be having the pot, but I will certainly be high as a goddamn kite. So hopefully I'll see some of you guys over there, and if not, I'll see you soon. What membership should you get? Depends what you want to do. I would appreciate any membership. Anybody watching, don't forget on the way out, hit the like button if you liked what you saw tonight. Tell your friends about it. It's ridiculous we're not the biggest podcast about gaming in the video game world. It's ridiculous. Fuck this bullshit. But that said, tell your friends about it. And if you are interested in a membership, you can click down below and get yourself a nice shiny one right in time for the holidays. We have a Thanksgiving special coming up next week. You don't want to miss that. And but regardless, why do I need a Reddit, Nick Wiley? What would I do with that? Regardless, though, what membership you should get depends. If you want to watch movies with us this weekend and you want to watch both, you need a Cult Calypso membership. If you want to just watch Evil Dead, don't worry about it. Pick up a shiny Diet Soda Soldiers membership. All right. It helps growth a lot. What would I put on there? Does it really? Okay, I'll look into it. I've never even thought about it. Okay. Let me ask you, tell me, educate me. Why does it help growth a lot? I have a Discord. I have 78,000 followers over on Twitter. What is Reddit going to get us? I'm totally down for it. I'm not opposed to it. I just need to be educated. What do you mean? Jaffe trying to pass a 2-liter diet soda? I don't understand. I don't understand. Oh, I got to go shopping. Let's do it online. Fuck it. I don't care. Are you still there, Nicholas? I don't call you Nicholas. Sorry. There you go. Look at Darth Nugget. See, thank you, buddy. Darth Nugget and I can be on opposite ends of the fence, but end of the day, we're neighbors just trying to fight the fight. So when the aliens come, we know we can both be counted on to have each other's back and shoot them in the brain pan. Darth Nugget is upgraded. We'll be seeing you hopefully tomorrow night for both Clash of the Titans and Evil Dead. Thank you, bud. It's for the community, not you. It's more accessible Discord, and we can post discussion topics and memes. Okay. Yeah, maybe I will. All right. Something to think about, Nicholas. Goddamn, can't help it. Thank you, Nick. All right, you guys. Why can't you guys be more like Darth Nugget, you son of a bitch? Be well, be safe, and I'll see you guys soon.